Are we live? It looks like we are live.
Are we live?
I would hope so.
Hello.
Yes, we are. We
YouTube
are live.
community.
Yes.
Woo! It's
only-
been a while since we've been here.
It's been a while, and this is only our third time. So I'm still trying to get used to all this. So welcome to the show. I am your host, Joshua Mickle, and right next to me is my father, Jack Mickle.
I am the father of this fine young man, of whom I'm well pleased and proud of for all he has done, and he's going through all this stuff physically. So that's why I'm here. I just want to let you know I love you.
I'm glad.
In front of everybody, I love you so much. I'm proud of you.
I love you too.
As a father to a son, and I'm also proud of my son Noah. And my daughter, Nicole. And my future son-in-law, Keith. Just let them know. In case you're watching. Yeah. Hey.
Yep.
I didn't want to leave anybody out. You know, you mentioned someone, you're like, why didn't you mention me? I'm like, I'm sorry. Olivia, my daughter-in-law. I'm sorry. And Megan, your wife, my other daughter-in-law. So, and, you know, the most important person, Julie, my wife, whom I love dearly. Anyway, so just want to mention that to all those, and I know no one on board wants to hear that, so there you go.
Yeah. So we're gonna and I'm gonna let you roll off the top with this one right here.
All
is right. First topic, and we have to talk about it.
Let's do it.
Is the head scratching movie, probably worst movie I've ever seen at a theater, Madam Web.
Oh.
Quite the experience we had.
Say yes. Dune 2. I was
no.
Like, what? Madam Web.
We're gonna start off with the best comic book movie of the year. The best movie of the year.
Yeah.
Madam Web.
That's kind of like
the
best skin disease to have is scabies. That's the same thing to say. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to my Kick It to the King Productions with website. Madam Web.
Yeah,
it was absolute. I mean, words fail me. I mean, literally, they fail me in a sense that it was boring for one. Secondly, how the heck does it tie into anything Spider-Man? None of the supposed three ladies who were the teenagers, the future superheroes of. What? Hold on a second. I got issues. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. There we go. So the thing is, the three teenagers who were supposed to be Marvel superheroes, Spider-Man-esque, never did anything Spider-Man-like. It was so disconjointed. It was, someone said that, what is it? The families that do something stupid, or the stupid families always do something stupid. This was a stupid movie. The writing was stupid. The dialogue was stupid. I mean, I can't find a saving grace for this movie. How does it move forward? How does it connect with anything else? It didn't connect with me.
It's supposedly in this Venomverse.
No, I got it.
Yes.
I'm one of those guys that say, I'm gonna give you so much leeway because I'm not a Marvel or a DC or whatever guy. But when I see a movie to move me, hopefully. If it's a horror film, if it's a drama, if it's a romance film, rom-com, so to speak. And, I've seen more rom-coms than most men may, admit to, of which probably rom-coms have been my favorite kind of movies when it comes to it. But this just failed. It fell flat. I mean, absolutely flat. And I don't know if it was directing, the whatever was written for them to speak and all that kind of stuff. The acting wasn't bad. It's just the whole movie, the premise was just flat.
The writing made the acting seem flat to me because
it's possible. Yeah,
like if you see, like, for anyone that has seen snippets of any of the 50 Shades movies with Dakota Johnson.
I was about to say,
she's
got to do with the Spider-Man movie.
She's Madam Web in this.
No, I got you.
Yeah, she's the lead character. if you've seen any snippets of her acting in those movies, and then you make the jump over to Madam Web, you think there's no difference in directing, writing. It's just a whole bunch of hot garbage.
Yes.
And it does not help when you have the writers of Morbius that also penned this script.
No,
and that movie is actually more enjoyable, in my opinion. It's more watchable than this here, whatever this was.
I agree.
So my initial thoughts on this particular movie with Madam Web, I mean, there's nothing more that can be said about it. It is what it is, because no one went to go see it because of word of mouth of it being really bad, and also folks also didn't go out to see it. Like you said before, what am I going to get out of this movie? Like, does it tie into Venom? Does it tie into Spider-Man? Does it tie into whatever franchise Sony's trying to shoehorn this to?
Yeah.
And leading up to Morbius, there was a whole bunch of live talk between the director and the actors, like the multiverse is open. You could see an Iron Man variant. You could see Stark Industries or whatever in this movie.
Right.
And you see none of that. Either it was all talk or it all got cut out because of how bad the movie was.
Yes. So people are asking, all right, do you think the reviews from media matched the actual movie?
Yeah. Everyone panned it.
I think the reviews actually oversold it because I think the movie was that low. Personally.
No, that's what I'm saying. They all undersold it. It has a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I disagree. You could give it a 1 out of 10, and I would say I disagree with you because it should have been a 0.3 out of 10.
It was 1 out of every 10 critics gave it a positive.
Maybe they couldn't go lower than 1, but to me, 1 was way too high for this movie. It's kind of like Green Lantern was.
Green Lantern's more watchable than this.
Because of Ryan Reynolds, he's got
it's a more appealing superhero.
No, I got it.
Folks know who Green Lantern is.
Yeah, no, I got it 100%. But okay, so let's take it to this. This Miss Marvel. How did that do in theaters?
On Disney Plus, it was a big hit. The Marvels.
Well, wait a minute.
In theaters.
Disney Plus, people are already I got to sneeze. I'm sorry, but Miss Marvel and Disney. People already subscribed, but in the movie theaters, what do you think? Please change me because I got to sneeze.
Yeah. So no one went out to go see it because no one went out to see it because fans are more well informed of reviews and what people think of it before they go see it in theaters. Like, do we want to spend money on a mediocre movie now, or are we gonna wait?
Well, let me ask you this question. Is it because in Black Widow was another one? Is it because
that did better than the Marvels?
No, I got it. I'm saying there's going to be ups and downs, but female leads in superhero movies, right? She-Hulk is another one.
Horrible show.
I know it's a series, but not a movie. Anyway, my thing is this: not to be misogynistic, which means anti-woman, because I'm not anti-woman. I love my woman, Julie. Anyway, do you think female leads in superhero movies constitute maybe starting behind the 8 ball in a sense that people don't want to watch them?
Not for the fact that it's a woman lead. I mean, look at some of the best sci-fi movies out there with a woman lead. Aliens comes to mind. That's one movie that comes to mind.
That's not a superhero movie though.
It's a pop culture movie that people go out to, people are synonymous and they love the franchise. But they didn't go out to see Terminator 1 and 2 with Sarah Connor. Come on.
No. I got you. But they went to see Arnold Schwarzenegger. They didn't go to see Sarah Connor.
But Arnold wasn't the main character.
What do you mean he wasn't the main character? Of course he was.
He was the co-lead. He wasn't the lead. Okay. The movie was not about him.
But I'm telling you, people went to see Terminator based on Terminator 3, 4,
the first Wonder
Genesis,
Woman movie?
And all that kind of stuff. Maybe I got it, but the returns in the box office yielded fewer results, right? Less success.
Not because it was woman based. It's because the movies were bad. The movies were not good.
What I'm saying is, okay.
We live in a
I got
society where
it. I'm saying,
if it's bad, folks are not going to spend their hard-earned money to go see it. Long are gone the days
but they don't know it's bad until they see it.
Where Transformers 4,
they don't know it's bad until they see it.
Where 1 out of every 10 critics say it's a sucky movie, makes $1 billion. Gone are those days.
Well, Braveheart, when it came out, wasn't received with much hype.
Neither was Willy Wonka.
Until it won 8,000 Academy Awards. And then, oh my God, every person who was writing about Braveheart said, the best movie in the world. Which I said from the beginning, it's the best movie in the world. Well, top 5 in my... Anyway, what I'm saying is, no one knows it's bad until they see it, right? Right?
Yeah, okay, that's why you and me went to go see it. It's like, is it really this
you
bad?
dragged me to see this movie.
You could have chose not to come.
Yeah, that would have been right. Hey, Dad, I want to go see this movie and all this kind of stuff.
Is it really this bad?
No, Josh, I don't like you at all. I don't know why you were even born under my name. I'm not going to see this movie with you. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that I love you and I want to spend time with you. I went to see the movie because of you, and both of us were disappointed. And why?
I expected it to be disappointing. I didn't expect it to be.
I didn't expect
that bad.
I put the expectation meter down here. This is 0. I put it about 1.
Yeah.
And it met expectations. Maybe a little fail.
Catwoman or Madam Web?
Catwoman. Absolutely. Yes. Catwoman was entertaining.
Yes,
Catwoman was at least entertaining. Madam Web was not entertaining at all. No, period.
Of course not.
I mean, the only look, Madam Web, you started thinking about Peter Parker. That was it. That was the only tie into the movie that possibly made
Uncle
you.
Ben is her assistant.
And Uncle Ben, yes. You were like, oh, wait a minute. I was thinking, which Spider-Man is this? That's what I'm saying. That, and they didn't mention specific names. I guess because they couldn't. I don't know, contractually, whatever. But they didn't mention.
They could if they wanted to.
What's the name of the child? What's the name?
Everyone knows it's Peter.
No.
Everybody knows.
Not in the movie. They didn't. What happened in the movie?
They don't say it.
Yes, because as soon as someone said, "No, we're going to go,"
it's a cutaway.
We're going to go to. As soon as the
cutaway,
Peter came, the "pa" came out, an explosion or something happened, and it was gone. You can't mention, I don't know, you can't mention Aunt May, Uncle Ben, right? You can say Ben whoever or May whoever, but you can't mention Uncle May. Well, in this society, maybe. But Uncle Ben, Aunt May, or Peter Parker. You couldn't mention it. I don't know why, because if it was part of the Spider-Man universe, why couldn't they say that? Josh, well, I put that over to you.
I just think it's one of those things where they saw the end result and they said, how can we distance ourselves for it to be not tied into any particular character? Like if there was a Marvel, like MCU reference in there, like you would have heard higher ups from Kevin Feige to say, hey, we can't have this. This is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah.
It's one thing for Venom 2 to have those connections, and he had that post-credit scene. It's
I agree.
Yeah, we can deal with this.
No, I got you.
Yeah, we can deal with that.
I got you.
So we will properly, as we do with most bad things in life, we will take this movie and in our minds, we will put it in the recycling bin. We will put it in the garbage disposal. We will turn on the garbage disposal and just let it wither and die as we go on to our next topic here, which is we are finally getting a Deadpool / Wolverine movie. Oh, wait, that's the wrong picture right there. That's the wrong picture. I gotta get the right one up.
Yeah, that's kind of old. It's kind of old, John.
That's more like it.
There we go.
Comic accurate.
Let me scoot over. Hold on a second. Because people were complaining on the last video that I was.
No, you need to come over here.
No, I'm putting the screen in. What is this? Wayne's World? I mean, I don't want to get. I'm trying to put the center.
The screen is center, but you and me are centered with the camera.
But they can't. If I scoot over, Excuse us, folks. We're working out technical difficulties live. I know that's what most people want to see.
If you want to be there and be socially distant, that's fine.
I'm not social. I'm right here next to you. I'm saying I want our customer, the viewer, hello viewer, to see. Here we go, right here, Deadpool, Wolverine. But if I were here, I'd be like, Wolverine, Deadpool. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think your sister is the one who said, you're blocking the screen. Just like you know.
What's supposed to happen? We might have three people in here. Too loud.
Yeah, whatever.
Too bad.
Let's continue, please.
The trailer dropped weeks ago at the Super Bowl, and we did not do a podcast after the Super Bowl because of my chemo and setbacks that happened. But bless you.
Sorry.
But this trailer dropped. I can't tell you how many times I rewatched this trailer for finally getting Deadpool 3, but also knowing the fact that we are finally getting Wolverine, Hugh Jackman back. This is an MCU movie. The payoff, like immediately in the trailer, you see the TVA at the door, like at the apartment door of Wade Wilson, which anyone that watches the Loki show are going to be like, it's payoff for them and it's added bonus for them seeing that series.
But there was another movie that it was included in the
Loki. That's it.
There was a movie we went to see that had this.
The TVA? No.
Never mind. No. I'm sorry. I thought there was. Anyway.
So TVA with its impressively improved armor you see in the trailer compared to what's on the TV show. So Loki has beefed them up a bit in the armor department.
Yes.
So the trailer goes on to say, essentially suggesting Deadpool is the Marvel Messiah, the Marvel Jesus to save the cinematic universe.
Marvel Jesus.
From the
Doesn't he say that in the?
Yes,
yes.
I am Marvel Jesus.
That's a little bit sacrilegious for folks, but I understand. I got
from
it.
We're coming off
the needle.
We're coming off of the Marvels, which was financial and critical bomb.
Yeah.
And then this trailer drops is like, I am here to save your cinematic
so what
universe.
Okay, I got that. But what did you think? I mean, did it inspire you? Does it excite you?
I'm excited for all the Easter eggs.
Withholding judgment based on anything that's come before it?
I'm excited for all the Easter eggs that we're going to be seeing because we've seen Pyro show up at the end of the trailer from the original X-Men movies.
All right.
You've seen the TVA. You've seen bloody action. Marvel's first F-bomb and a Marvel Studios trailer.
So Josh wants to see blood, skin, and F-bombs. That's basically what Josh wants to hear. I just want you guys to know that.
A bloody violence masterpiece. It's Deadpool. I know what I'm getting from this movie. Yeah. So, we're seeing Hugh Jackman back in his comic accurate costume that we never thought we would have gotten.
And he said, I would never, ever wear that ridiculous pajama costume.
The first X-Men movie, he was complaining about his suit in the movie, and the Cyclops
exactly.
What would you prefer, yellow
I
spandex?
think he said F off was he was at the bar drinking. They came
first class.
and to approach him, and he was like F off. I'm like, okay, got it. I thought it's a cool touch in a sense that yes, I got it. And he's like, I think he's like 80 years old, but he's still looking fit and svelte, kind of like me. I mean, kind of like me.
He's taking horse steroids again.
Yeah, so, it's kind of like me. I got it. I got my 6-pack abs and 6-pack glutes because of the fat. But anyway, Hugh Jackman would be the person who would be the actor who plays me in my autobiography, just to let you know.
So what did you think of the trailer? You don't think it's awesome?
No, I thought it was funny, right? Especially when he said this is not the anal joke, whatever it was.
Pegging's not new for me, but it is for Disney.
But it is for Disney. I thought that was like. So if you're a kid, you're like, what are they talking about? I mean, unless they're...
It's a callback to the first movie, but yeah.
No, I got you. What I'm saying is the kids didn't like, what are you talking about? And the parents were like, yeah. He was, I don't know what he's talking about. But they were laughing. My whole thing is, so the whole thing is, it's definitely not for children. But Ryan Reynolds, I'm telling you, I'm trying to think of a movie of his I didn't like. I mean, even his early movies, from Waiting, when he was a waiter at a restaurant, funny, right? Van Wilder, funny. Very, very low class kind of whatever humor, but Van Wilder was still funny.
What's the one with Jennifer Lopez?
No, you're thinking you're thinking of what's the girl from The Proposal, and the people out there are saying it's this person. It's Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock. Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that in a movie in the theaters with your mother and another couple. Absolutely hilarious. Loved it. Right. Not How to Lose a Guy. It was The Proposal. So I think I think Matthew McConaughey is another guy who has great comedic timing, who could be a possible whatever for Marvel or whatever superhero in the future.
Yeah.
Not that he would want to do it. I'm just saying that he could do it. What I'm saying is I loved it. I thought it was great. The timing was great. I love comedic humor where it kind of like Frasier. And I know not a lot of people know Frasier from Peacock and Paramount Plus. With what's his name? Kelsey Grammer. Whoever the writers were for that show, 10 out of 10, not 11 out of 10, because the timing was right. Obviously, you need the actors to perform, but the writing was so spectacular that it was and so funny. The timing was great, all et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's why I love that show, and that's why I think these types of shows illustrate the value of writers. Because tell me who the writers were for Madam Web. I don't want to know. I'm just saying the writers for Madam Web were like in the ninth grade. Yeah. Right? Compared to, say, the writers for Frasier. I haven't seen this film, but any other film, everybody else is a graduate of college. You see what I'm saying? So the writers, and they're not just doing Madam Web, they're doing Craven?
No, they're you're going to like this.
No. The
folks behind Craven did your Ben Affleck, The Accountant movie.
The writers for Madam Web did The Accountant?
No. The writers for Madam Web did Morbius. For Craven, the guys from The Accountant, which you tell me is a good movie, I have not seen it, with Ben Affleck in it, is a good movie.
So the writers from Morbius did The Accountant.
Morbius writers did Madam Web. The Accountant writers are doing Craven, which is
I got it. Okay, so I was about to say, those two didn't match up. The Accountant movie, in my opinion, outstanding. I'm sure my wife would agree. I haven't, which gives me hope, moving forward for Craven, because the Madam Web writers, I absolutely will never spend a single dime to see that movie. Whatever movie it is, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Avengers, everybody getting back together, and I don't know, somebody coming back to just snap their finger again. I will never watch that movie. At least pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're saying that the writers are going to be different for that. I'm all aboard. That's leading me to be hopeful for Craven, because something needs to be successful. Something needs to say, we're back, and there hasn't been that in the last, I don't say 18 months.
For this particular movie with Deadpool, I don't know how we got to.
I'm sorry. I went down that rabbit hole.
On that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to compare the writers to this movie, which are coming back from the first two
who are the writers
movies
for this movie?
Paul Warmick and Rhett Reese.
And they wrote what?
Deadpool 1 and 2. You can at least have that assurance. They've done many more. They did that sci-fi horror movie called Life. I love that movie. With Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and whoever else was in that movie. Yeah. Good movie.
Yes.
They've done plenty of others with Ryan Reynolds. Free Guy. They wrote Free Guy.
I love Free Guy.
They like being with Ryan Reynolds.
So we have hope for this movie outside of Madam Web. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm looking at questions, but no one's. Give me questions, folks. There's nothing here. I don't see anything.
So bottom line, you're looking forward to this movie.
100%. I really am. Because I like...
We need a grading scale for you. Are you small popcorn inside or are you extra large popcorn
I like
size?
that. I like... So with expectations for this would be large popcorn, double layered. I mean, that's what I'm expecting because I've seen the first two. I like the first one better than I did the second one. Mm-hmm. Ryan Reynolds, again, and that was the tangent I went on, he has such great comedic talent and stage presence, so to speak. I think that he knows how to play to the camera, how to play to the audience. And, he's a good-looking guy, obviously, but you can't see because of the mask. What I was saying is Ryan Reynolds is a guy who is tailor-made for Deadpool. Tailor-made. Because he's so in-your-face, kick you in the mouth kind of comedic talent. I mean, he's so irreverent, so to speak. And, like, for instance, if this were 1980s, Ryan Reynolds would have been the perfect person to hire for Saturday Night Live because they hired comedic talent who were irreverent and could go on their own, kind of on a live stage to be filmed, and for an entire studio audience, whatever. He's that kind of guy. And that is so rare because so many, I don't want to say comics, whatever, actors, they have to have a script. They have to have it, A, B, and C, and D. I'm going, and when it's interrupted, they get thrown off. Ryan Reynolds is not one of those guys, And then you got huge Ackman, who is, Australian, and a lot of people love. But he's a very talented guy. He's an opera singer. Do you think of that? A talented actor, but he's doing this, and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's like, F you, I don't want to do it. But now he's doing it, so it's kind of like, why are you doing it? Now you gave him the middle finger, but now you're involved. So what happened? That required that you said I'm going to do it now. So
let's get that out of the way. The whole thing wasn't he's not going to do the MCU. The whole thing was we just wrapped it up with Logan. It's a perfect ending to the character.
Died.
He had a swan song. Don't touch it. Do not.
So is this before Logan?
We don't know. Maybe he's plucked out.
What I'm saying, that's what I'm asking.
Before or after Logan?
He's dead in Logan. So how is he back now?
Maybe Deadpool revives him back to life after Logan somehow.
I think people are not even asking that question, but yeah.
But the whole thing was the characters used to be over at 20th Century Fox before Disney bought out 20th Century.
Yeah,
they weren't even allowed to be in the MCU. So, and that was always like their Hail Marys. Like, I'll come back on one condition: if I'm in the event, like the go-to line is, I'll come back to play this Marvel character if I'm in the Avengers, which meant. We're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Deadpool in the Avengers now? Deadpool said F you too.
He's got to be in the Secret Wars at least. He's got to be in Secret Wars.
Oh, I gotcha. I'm just saying, it's weird why he's now saying, okay, when everything leading up to this, everything, F you. So there's got to be something in the movie that we haven't been made aware of, right? That says, this is why he's involved. It's got to be. Gotta be. I mean, even if it's cheesy, there's got to be something, right? Right?
It's got to be something.
Okay.
Yep. And this next...
I speak truth.
Yes. And this next topic will actually be hit you home, I guess, since you work in the government. So it has been reported...
I can't tell you that I work in the government. If I told you, I'd kill you. And I don't want to do that on camera.
It has been reported by a study from the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, that apparently federal agencies are working to weed out, quote, extremism in gaming spaces, which, according to recent reports, is that such video game studios such as Activision, Blizzard, and a whole bunch of others have made contact with the FBI, evidently, and said, told them essentially what happened during 2020 and COVID and misinformation and stuff. It's like, hey, here's a list of people where you may want to take a look on it, take a look at them, make sure everything's okay, which we all know is code for, hey, give us info on this guy and let's see if we can do anything to that person. So we already learned this lesson through Twitter files. Thank you, Elon Musk, for releasing all the backdoor info of what the government was asking Twitter for during COVID-19 and 2020 and whatnot. What's your first reaction when you hear something like this, where video gamers, like someone like me, I could be playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 and I wouldn't know it, that the government is checking to see if I'm being too extreme and playing my Venom missions too much and killing and eating people? Am I an extreme gamist to you?
You are not. Okay, so I think I share your concern in that so you've asked me before, why in high school do we need to read these books, learn these things? I've never used them in real life, blah, 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 right? I will point you to two books, that will point to you exactly where we are at right now that were written 50 and 60 years ago. One, Animal Farm. Animal Farm tells you exactly how society would be structured based on, I would say, higher government positioning. How those in power, right, are going to dictate those lower in power how they live their life, right? Another one is 1984, George Orwell. Those two books, if you were to read them, and that's why we should read them in high school, is a sense that, again, you go to the old tired, phrase of those who do not, learn of history are doomed to repeat it, right? So if you read those two books, Animal Farm, 1984, and I would offer also Fahrenheit 451. Oh my God, I can't remember if it's 451 or not. I can't remember the number. I think it's 451. I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've read it. Anyway, those three books will tell you if you were to remove when they were written and apply them to now, you would say, oh my gosh, it will blow your mind. I'm telling you, Animal Farm, 1984, Fahrenheit 451, right? Those three books will completely blow your mind. Completely, right? So, based on extremist gaming, they're talking about you're on your headset, right? You're playing your game.
What are we saying to our
what they want to do? I think what they're saying is, and trying to sell to the public is, they're playing a game, and so to intercept, right, potential extremism, terrorism, is when you're on your game, you're talking to somebody, hey, you suck, blah, 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 I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 look to the left, look to the right, watch your six, blah, blah, blah. But then they could say, hey, look, blah, 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 we're going to bomb up this place on this date, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, what date and time, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Maybe they're looking at that kind of stuff. I understand that you want to, as the government, try to intercept as much anti-terrorism as you can. However, I think what they're trying to do is establish a monitoring of people who have never broken the law, have never exhibited any kind of behavior that they will break the law. And then, just like the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise,
Steven Spielberg,
is that I'm telling you, that movie is so prophetic. Is that I think based on AI, and we could have a multi-hour discussion about AI. Based on AI, they're going to say, this person has given money to these people. They play these video games. They've had these phone calls, blah, blah, blah. These text messages. They went to this school, that school, whatever. They work here. And so therefore, based on all that, they're going to commit a crime against the government. Oh, well then, let's arrest them. I'm telling you, tinfoil hat fully on. I got it. Back in the 50s, nothing that we're going through now would have been looked at as crazy. They would have seen as crazy, because what we have now is like, there's no way in the 1950s they would have said, no way the government would do that. No way. Now we've moved towards that point, right? Beyond that point. And now moving forward, right? You got to be careful what game you play. You got to be careful what you say, because you can't say bomb. You can't say anything against the government. You can't say anything that is...
Oh, yeah, the same gaming company behind all this was revealed. The game, I forget the name. They do the Fortnite games.
No, yeah. Fortnite.
Everybody.
No. But you can't say...
Has Fortnite.
No,
yeah.
I got you. But say you don't like same-sex... I should say, for instance, you don't like biological males participating in female sports. And you want to say that in a basketball game that you're playing online, or a football, whatever, right? You can say, I don't want women playing, or I don't want guys playing in a female game, right?
If you played enough shooter games, you will get a gay slur towards you.
Yes.
It's like go do what, like, bleepity bleep. If you just shot them, you'll get a reaction from them.
But that's not.
And then that's it. Yeah.
That's not incumbent upon our government to spy upon me and say you're a bad person because I believe that men should serve in combat and not women, right? I believe that men should play men's sports, and biological men should never be included in women's sports. I mean, personally, that's how I believe, right? But I shouldn't be grounded and recorded and hounded by our government because of my religious beliefs, because of my values, because of something I say. Hey, blah. I'm gonna F you up. I would never say that, but F you up on this game, blah, blah. I think what it has come to is this. I think what started this, I should say, is this swatting. Swatting is, for people who don't know, is that people who, say I'm playing a video game with you and I'm beating your tail off, right? I'm owning you. And then the other person says, well, because you're beating me, guess what? Or you have offended me in some way. I'm going to swat you. So I'm going to send a text. I'm going to send a phone call. I'm going to send some sort of whatever communication to the police department where you live and say, this person has a bomb. This person is a terrorist, and blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, SWAT team literally shows up to your house.
Your front door.
Literally shows up to your house and infiltrates your house or calls you out. Hey, this is the SWAT team. Come out with your hands up. It literally has happened. Literally, not. This is not hyperbole. Literally has happened. And literally, people have died because swatting was called on a team or on a house that, the person was like, who are you? Why are you entering or attempting to enter my house with weapons? I'm going to defend myself, right? And so they have a weapon, and all of a sudden that person with a weapon dies because he wants to defend his household against an unlawful search or seizure or whatever. That's swatting, 100%. Swatting has led to deaths. Now, and I understand that's what has led to this thing where, we're going to go to extreme gamism and people who have played it. I got it. There is a role for that, 100%. I don't deny it. I don't. I'm just saying that the government should never overstep their bounds. And the government has never said two things. One, we have enough money, so therefore I don't want any more of yours. Never have said that. Two, they've never said, I have too much power, so therefore I don't want any more power. So Two things. The government wants your money and will never get enough of it. Two, the government has never had enough power and will never refuse power. So when you go that slippery slope, the government will always want more money, more power. So whatever bill is introduced, whether it be gaming or otherwise, they're going to say yes. And they're going to say Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't care who you are, they're going to say yes. Based on, I want to be able to prevent terrorism. So my question to you is, of the millions of people who are online gaming, how many of them are actual terrorists?
Probably far and few.
I would say less than 0.01%.
At least of all the big national media, like mass shootings that are reported, none of which can be like almost, let's say, like of the thousands that happen. Let's say, I don't want to say zero, but maybe like out of the 1,000, maybe 2 or 1 can be traced back to, oh, this person is an extreme gamist. Mm-hmm. That's how rare.
But my question is,
percentage that
okay,
is.
I got it. But the 0.0001, the one person out of a million.
It's more than it's a whole lot more zeros. Look, yeah,
the one person out of a million, right? Who says, I want to bomb Sandy Hook, I want to blow whatever, and that happened, and it was tragedy, right? But if they were to say online prior to that event that I'm going to shoot up Sandy Hook, right? The one person, would that be worth it? Would I, as the government, say, and I'm going to follow up whatever you say. I'm going to follow up with another example. But would that one time we would have saved all those children's lives, all those other people's lives, and not only that, but the psychological trauma that happened, if it didn't happen via video game. I just want everybody to know that. But if it had been communicated via video game, that I'm gonna shoot up Sandy Hook, right? Would it be worth it to invade your privacy for that?
I honestly couldn't tell you the right topic off the top of my head without thinking long and hard about it. But I know killing people and what went on with COVID are two vastly different things.
Sandy Hook's not COVID. Sandy Hook is not COVID.
In the process, in the comparison of when all the school shutdowns were happening, it's like, oh, we're doing it to protect our children and whatnot, where we see statistically they are less affected by COVID. They have the lowest death rate of COVID, so they shouldn't be affected. So we shouldn't be affecting policy with them. Yes. Whereas if I'm looking at it from a numbers point of view, it's far and skew and so low for a shooter to be influenced by extreme gaming.
So you're saying that? So I'm going to shoot up a school. It has very little, if anything, to do with a video game, right? Is that what you're saying?
I honestly,
I don't disagree with you. I'm asking you this. Is that what you're saying?
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
Do video games, shoot 'em ups, really? Do they influence? Do they influence a person's decision to actually carry out those same actions real life in a public forum, i.e. a school or I don't know, any other kind of public forum?
Not never say never, because it only takes one.
Yeah.
So I just know from looking at the numbers, and even playing with these gamers online for a time in my life, it's like they're always like how we are, their dialogue online doesn't scream, I'm going to shoot up Sandy Hook, or I'm going to pull a Sandy Hook, or something. It's almost like an extremism of fandom, like how we are with our sports teams. Like that's how video gamers are online towards each other, especially as your shoot 'em gamers. And I will point out one of my favorites that I love watching online is his name's Timmy Toucans, and what he does, he will go into Call of Duty games and take little mongooses, like he'll take little carts or like go-karts or something, drive them into a building and just run over people and kill them. And they're like, how
so I would do the same
like
thing.
just the gamer's reaction is like, how is he doing it?
So I would say if I were a senator or a representative or somebody
I would vote
to
no
testify,
on a bill.
If I were to testify before the Hill, in Congress, in Washington D.C., I would proceed forth with the numbers of these. What do you call it? The Nashville, shooter who was transsexual, who shot up X amount of.
We still don't have the full manifesto.
We still don't have that. You got Sandy
almost
Hook.
a year. It's a year later, and we don't have the full manifesto.
I don't want
That's
to get
ridiculous.
political. I'm just saying that those specific examples, they weren't extreme gamists or gamers, whatever you call it.
No, they weren't.
So what I'm saying is,
we can roll down the list.
Excuse me.
We can roll down the list. Yeah, none of it ties back.
Exactly. And if somebody, no one has. Maybe I'm not refreshing enough, but no one's asked questions. So my thing is
I'll
this:
let you know when someone does.
If gaming, especially violent gaming, were the impetus for people who were not balanced, mentally especially, to commit crimes against humanity, which shooting someone is a crime against humanity, right? Unless you're in self-defense. Right? You're defending yourself, defending your family, 100% valid, in my opinion, done, okay? I'm talking about going out and shooting people for no reason. Strangers, just bam. Mm-hmm. Has nothing to do with gaming. No. Period. There's nothing to suggest action.
The arguments I have heard since I was in high school is like, is Call of Duty games like bad for children?
Show me the data that relates based on people who have either been killed in doing so or caught in doing so of mass extremism shooting, two or more people, and not in defense of themselves or their families. I'm talking about just shooting people, right? Mm-hmm. Show me where the data that suggests, from now, right now, from, 1980, I don't know. From 1980 until now, show me the proof where that specific issue of video gaming caused a person to shoot one or multiple people. Show me that data.
Yeah.
Show me that data. And I guarantee you will come out sorely lacking. Sorely. And I'm not a big proponent of shoot 'em ups because I don't play video games. I got it. I'm more of the video game that was called Shadow President. I think it's been discontinued, but it was in the mid 1990s. I loved it. Hey, we're going to do this against this country. You're going to do this, and we're going to favorite this person. And then you go and, maybe you get assassinated, whatever. Shadow President was my favorite game.
You like the TV show Halo? That's another game. Another shooting game.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about video games. I never played Halo. But I'm saying that's just a shout out to Shadow President, which maybe somebody knows about, maybe most people don't. Anyway, what I'm saying is this: video games don't cause you to do things, right? Just like songs don't cause you to do things. What causes you to do things are your decisions based on your heart and your mind. Well, they're always looking at video games and listening to these songs and whatever. Well, no. What's their home life like? If a bad person is bad,
mm-hmm. They're going to do bad things.
They're going to do bad things, right? If a good person is good, they're going to do good things. Now, can a bad person be redeemed and do good things? 100% yes. Can a good person dip into the bad? 100% yes. So here's the thing. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. I'm pretty sure I've never seen a gun walking down the street looking for people to shoot. I'm almost 100% positive I've never seen a shotgun walking down the street looking for a Republican or a Democrat or a Christian to shoot. No, it's always been the person who pulls the trigger.
Or Biden in his famous words.
No.
Humor here.
Okay,
humor
but don't
here.
say Biden like he
In
pulled
his
the trigger.
in his famous words, it's not like deer wear caviar vests or something, walking with a gun, shooting you.
I mean, I'm not defending Biden. I don't want to say Biden did anything. I'm just saying, look, people kill people. If you outlaw guns, and
like
I
Canada.
know we don't want to get political on this show. I'm so sorry. But if you were to outlaw guns in
Canada,
the United States,
England, yeah, we've seen
no,
that.
they're not outlawed. It's just very hard to get a permit. Anyway, what I'm saying is,
Pretty
if
much.
you were to outlaw guns in the United States, good luck with that. And they were illegal. Two things. One,
Black markets.
two things. One, criminals. Let me think. Criminals. What's the definition of criminals? Criminals. Oh, I got it. Criminals don't obey the law. That's the whole thing. They don't obey the law. So if you outlaw guns, you're saying law-abiding citizens can't have a gun. Law-abiding citizens won't have a gun. Now, I'm not saying that all of them won't have a gun. I'm just saying law-abiding citizens will say they don't have a gun. And guess what? Criminals who are known to break the law will still have weapons. How does that make sense, Josh?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What's your second point?
What was the second point? So
You said 2
can't
points.
I know, I did. I had a brain fart. I'm sorry. But my first point still holds. If you have all these. Okay, my second point is this: all these states, New York, Chicago, California. Right?
Colorado.
They have all these anti-gun laws. How in the world are these gun crimes happening? I don't know. How? I want to know how in those three situations do crimes happen in which a gun is the primary actor? How? I don't know. Tell me how in Chicago, where guns are ultimately just basically outlawed, there's a gun crime, murder almost every weekend. How? How does that happen? I don't understand. I don't get it. DC, same thing. DC is becoming commonplace for all these like car thefts and all that kind of stuff, multiple of which are, it's not like, hey, get out of the car. Get out of the car. I want to steal your car. Can you get out of the car? No, it's a gun that's pointing at you. Get out of the car. Right?
Never mind the fact some of these car thefts have been to political figures in DC.
Yeah, exactly. A couple, 3 of them that I can remember. So what I'm saying is, guns don't have brains. They can't operate without a human being behind them. Let's get on the common sense of common sense. Please, oh my God, please. And say, yes, guns are only shot by people with an agenda. Right? And so if somebody wants to shoot up something, I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, independent, I don't care about that. Right? They're shooting people. Therefore, they should deserve to die. In my opinion, die. Now, should they be afforded the opportunity to repent and say, because as a Christian, hey, I know you killed 20, 6th graders, right? With your gun of some sort. But guess what? I'm not God. Jesus literally died for you. I mean, I couldn't do that. If someone killed my son, daughter, excuse me, I don't know that I could forgive them. I don't.
Who was next to him on the cross?
Two thieves.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, and one of which accepted, I'm going to go with you, Jesus. And the other one was like, whatever. F you, Jesus. And that's basically what they said. But my thing is this. You could even say Hitler. one of the biggest terrorists in the world ever, in the history of recorded history. Mm-hmm. If I'm pretty sure he didn't, but I don't know. I wasn't there. If he were to give his heart and soul and mind over to Jesus Christ before he died, I guess he would be in heaven. I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know, right? I would think as a Christian, I would say, ain't no way he's coming to heaven. No way. You know,
you walk through heaven. You're like,
I'm like, hey, bro, you're cleaning toilets and puke and dung all the day. I don't care who you. I don't care. But Jesus says, I died for him. So that's the whole thing about Christianity, right? Mm-hmm. Is that he died for the worst of us, which gives me hope because I don't consider myself the worst, but I do consider myself a sinner. I mean, a huge sinner, right? So he's going to forgive me. If he's going to forgive people who actually killed him or led to his killing, you know, there's been a couple of films that said that. You know, the Roman soldier, you know, kind of led to his, you know, arrest and all that kind of stuff. Not Judas necessarily, but, you know, other soldiers. The thing is, he has that he has that love, grace of the Father to say, I forgive you. And who am I to say otherwise? You see what I'm saying? So, wow, we really went down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. So the gaming issue is, yes, I think the government, Ronald Reagan said it best. He said, I can't remember the number of words. He said the worst number of words, whatever, from
the government
that you can ever hear.
Yeah.
Is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. You know? No. Absolutely no. And then you wonder why we have, you know, our constitutional protections, right? Of free speech, right? Of no unlawful search and seizures. Of I have a right to carry arms, right? Because the government, my rights don't come from the government. They come from God. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to recognize that as a quote-unquote politician, then guess what? You need to be removed. First of all, you need to show your stripes. What do you believe? Do you believe that our rights come from God, or do you believe our rights come from government? If so, if you believe our rights come from government, then you need to be tossed aside, because our rights can only be taken away from those who give it to us. So only, in my opinion, right, only God can say, you don't have the right to do such and such, right? The government shouldn't have the right to tell me I have the right, or I couldn't have the right to speak said, to do said, to carry arms, to do this, that, and the other. No, my rights come from God according to our Constitution. It's written and it's protected. Go to the Washington, D.C. It's protected by, I don't know how many layers of protection. I mean, it's protected. Bulletproof glass. You know, somebody gets too close, it gets too hot, and then, you know, whatever. And sometimes they put out fake documents of the Constitution because they're getting cleaned down below. Doesn't matter. The Constitution is the perfect human document. Human document. It's not perfect, but it's the perfect human document, and therefore should be protected as such. But our government treats it as though it's a document that's written on SportsIllustrated.com. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's nothing. Anyway, so extreme gamism is in my opinion, they say they want to do the right thing, but they take it and say, I'm going to use it. Because of that, it's like the Patriot Act. 2001, or actually it was passed in 2004, I believe it was. I can't remember. Anyway, Patriot Act said, we're going to spy on people, blah, blah, blah. But they turned it into spying into U.S. citizens, right? And this will turn into, I'm going to spy into everything everybody says online, everywhere. And I say, You get on your phone, you text, you call. NSA is listening to it anyway, right?
If you're on TikTok, the Chinese Communist Party is watching
and you go online.
Yeah.
Now, this is like another legal whatever that they can say, ooh, this thing. I'm telling you, the government does not. I'm telling you, I love them. I love the government in the sense that they're for our general protection, right? They pay for our military. God, we are the best nation in the world, 100%. You don't like us, move somewhere else, right? But our government loves to spy on us, and I am not a fan of that, 100%. And you'll probably get tagged on this YouTube video, and probably whatever, you're going to have IRS come after you. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I pay my taxes.
That's what I believe.
I pay my taxes.
I pay my taxes too.
You still got to do your taxes, I think.
I still have to sign them. I've done my taxes. I still have to sign them.
I think what we've seen, just to wrap this up in a nice little bow, in terms of this particular topic, what we've seen come out from the Twitter files, what we've seen, and based on what happened in the Twitter files and what Elon Musk posted out there for the public to read and digest, is that not only did they do it on Twitter, they most likely did it on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, censoring people, going after people, all that sort of stuff. If they posted or did something that they didn't like, God forbid it's like a far left or a far right person on a shoot 'em game says like Joe Biden 24 or Trump 24, right. And then someone comes down their door and be like,
yes, I'm a Trump supporter, so therefore you got the FBI,
hammer down
NSA,
your door. You open a can of worms if you go down.
You're going to be targeted, and that is insane. I can't remember who the.
Or saying like if you're like a Christian or something, someone can report you and say, this dude's an extreme Christian person.
But why? Because the people in power, government, would say we're anti-Christian. Why? Because it disassociates non-Christians, which Christianity, true Christianity, does not disassociate. They want to take everybody. They want to say everybody's welcome. But government would say Christianity says homosexuals, transsexuals, this, that, and the other, they're not welcome. No, absolutely false. They are welcome within the Word of God, right? But in church, we want you there. We welcome you there. 100%. We're not saying no.
Yeah.
But the government uses that and says, oh, Christianity says people who are homosexual, people who are transsexual can't come into the church. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, Jesus is saying, come to the church. When you
come to the church, repent, know that what you do is a sin.
Listen, when you catch a fish, you could catch the biggest fish in the world, right? What in the world do you do with that other than mount it? I'm not saying mounting it. I'm saying once you catch a fish, what do you do with it?
You sell it or you eat it.
No, well, okay. Sell it or eat it. That's true.
Or you show it off to your friends first.
No, that's mounting it. I'm talking about selling or eating it, right? So if you catch a fish before you eat it, before you consume it, before you can enjoy it, right, you got to remove the scales. Because you can't eat those. I mean, a human being can't. A shark can. I'm saying a human being can't eat the scales. And guess what? You're going to gut it. You want to get all the entrails out because it's pretty nasty, that kind of thing. Avoid infection. So what you're left with is basically a little bit of skin, flesh, and the meat, right? Mm-hmm. That's what Jesus taught. That's what they did. They went fishing. They caught fish. But guess what? Fish weren't allowed to be fish after they're caught. They weren't allowed to be. And I was saying not allowed to be. I have to say this carefully. Is that when you, you're a fish. I'm a fish. We're caught by Jesus. I'm going to say we're caught, right? We're fish. And we are designed by God to catch other fish, which are other people, right? I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it our job to clean these people? No, it's not. It's not. Our job is to catch them. Period. And I know it sounds kind of blasé and whatever, overarching. I'm just saying our job is to say, hey, come to church. Mm-hmm. Our job is to say, hey, Jesus loves you. Our job is to say, I don't care what you've done. You've murdered people. Okay, got it. Right. Unless you're an active, serial killer, I've got that.
There's a search warrant out for you.
Yeah. I'm just saying that. Look, murderers, right? As hard as it may sound, and as evil as it may sound, somebody who's had their way with minor children, right? Bad. In my mind, should be burned at the stake. But I'm not Jesus, right? Those people who have cheated on their taxes, people who have cheated on their wives and husbands, people who have had hatred, thoughts towards people who've done bad things. Guess what? That's what he's saying. Hook that fish, bring them in, and guess who is the cleaner? Who's the cleaner, Joshua?
Not us.
Not us. It's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit's going to tell you, whoo, I can't, if the Holy Spirit hooks somebody, and I've been hooked by the Holy Spirit,
good luck. Yep.
Whatever you were doing or wanted to do, I mean, it takes such a back seat to everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything. And it's not anything you can do or I can do or Pastor John Sealing can do or our pastor believers can do. It's about what the Holy Spirit can do through Jesus Christ. And guess what? That person will have to make the decision, right? Mm-hmm. Jesus is going to say, hey, you are forgiven. I'm offering you this. I'm offering you redemption. I'm offering you freedom from your burdens. I mean, I don't know. You release all that pain, all that anxiety, all the issues of the past and just say, and he said, my burden is light compared to what you were carrying, right? My burden was light, right? Choose me. And that's why Jesus doesn't say, hey, as soon as you accept me, as your Lord and Savior, he didn't call you to heaven. He calls you to live here because he wants you to decide openly to follow him. He could have held a gun or, I don't know, an ox bone or whatever to Adam and say, follow me or I'm going to kill you, right? That's not true followership, He wants to know that you love him. You chose him, right? And that is the choice to victory. That is the way in which we as a church should go forth. You see what I'm saying? So, another rabbit hole. I'm just saying that it's a choice that we make that has to be followed. And if you don't want to follow it as a person, that's on you. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just saying that as a follower of Jesus Christ, I say this is a choice. And it's free. It's free. Many benefits, no pay, like Pastor John said today. There's no pay to this, but there's plenty of benefits. There's so many benefits to this.
Yeah.
And how do you react to
that? Pretty much agree what you're saying.
I mean, disagree. I'm just saying anything. Did I miss anything?
Nope. Not at all.
Okay.
And while we're sticking on the subject of gaming real quick, and hopefully this topic doesn't take an hour long.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on a tangent. It was something that meant something to me. I'm sorry.
So I brought this up with you when it first came out.
Yes.
And this is an interesting thing to dive into real quick. It was reported back in February that Xbox gaming exclusives could make their way onto the PlayStation 5. And so folks began to wonder online, why did I just buy the new next-gen Xbox system?
Yeah.
If the games are eventually going to be coming
I've never heard that, but I'm thinking to myself.
Are going to be coming eventually to the PlayStation 5. One of the rumor games is the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, I love Master Chief.
You also have, I think the game is called Stargate.
Atlantis Stargate
Stargate's the sci-fi game that just came out.
from the 1980s. I got it. Kiefer Sutherland. I got it.
And many others rumored to be out there, including the upcoming Indiana Jones exclusive video game, supposedly on Xbox.
Who's this guy on the right?
I think that's Stargate.
Okay, that's right.
Star something.
All right. Anyway, so what do you? Okay, got it.
So as a gamer, when I first heard about this,
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, yes, please. Can we get Master Chief on the PlayStation 5? That would be awesome.
Master Chiefs everywhere, and I'm talking about Master Chiefs in the Navy. Celebrate, yes.
If I tell you what, for those Xbox, those PlayStation gamers that say to me over the years, the Xbox, they're Xbox.
I don't care about Xbox. I'm talking about Master Chief. That's all I care about.
They're like our distant cousin with the Xbox system.
Really?
And I tell you what, if the Halo Master Chief Collection, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, and
I've never
all the way up to 4.
Yeah.
And you add a Halo Reach in there.
Yeah.
It will be gobbled up and brought back to popularity with its online gaming and story campaign. I tell you what, because it's ripe for popularity for Master Chief for Halo to finally gain, because it's lost some of its steam in the last several years because of its last game that came out, Halo Infinite. Came out to lackluster results. There are a whole bunch of patches on it that they had to solve up. And then, if it ever comes on to PlayStation, I will be first in line to buy it. It's a great game to play.
It doesn't change the storyline, right?
No, it doesn't. It's just a matter of the whole
platforms.
Platforms. That's the whole thing. Is Xbox looking to get away from ultimately the video game console business and getting into the IP making business, to where you have
it's not just a video game, it's also a little movie.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is Xbox getting out of the console wars, essentially, which by the charts, PlayStation is selling I think the number was 3 out of every 4 systems that are sold between Xbox and PlayStation. 3 of them are PlayStation 5s.
Okay.
Compared to the next gen console of
So they're saying
Xbox.
In order to gain a little of that market share of subscribers or players, they want to go into the PlayStation market, right?
To get those gamers at least, So they can spread awareness of their IP.
Yeah.
But then if you do that, what? It's good that you get more more eyeballs if you want to do cross-platform online gaming, which most games do these days. But if you don't, that's totally fine in my opinion. But if you ever think about you say to your Xbox loyalists out there, this is your exclusive game. Yes. In 1 year or 2 years, it's going to be on the other system.
On PlayStation
but then you say Nintendo.
Yeah.
But then you say to them, "Oh, it'll be available on these other systems in a year or 6 months or so from now."
I'm gonna wait.
It's why do I have an Xbox?
Yes. No, I got it. So you're saying I've got an Xbox, I got a PlayStation, I've got, what did you say was the third one? Nintendo.
Top 3. Yep.
Does Nintendo have new releases that really break the bank? I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is this: if I'm not a video game player. I don't know. That would depend on people who are
not in the chat.
Not really in the chat. Anyway, we say maybe that's a thing, but I think that if you're a game maker, I don't know who makes these decisions. Why would you not? It's kind of like streaming. You have a movie that goes out, in the theaters, blah, 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 3 months, blah, 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 makes whatever $100 million. And then you go put it on a HBO Max or a Peacock or a Paramount Plus or a, YouTube, Netflix.
Something along those lines,
right? I get it. They're going to pay you money, right, to put your movie on their platform. I got it. So what? So what if I don't care. As a consumer, I think the more competition you have, the better, because the competition lowers prices. You know, if there were only one television station that offered all the football games, guess what? They could charge $100,000 per year.
That's the fear.
What I'm saying is,
that's the fear of not only from loyalists but also like general gaming fans as a whole, is that if Xbox stops making consoles, the only major player is PlayStation now. Essentially,
I agree. But
so is that a monopoly? No, I would say
no. I think no. You got to look at the industry and say, where's the industry headed? I mean, I don't know how you go online and play, but maybe there's a generic go online and play with your PC or phone even, and say, here it is, bam, you can get online and play the game. I think the way of the console, whether it be Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo, I think that's going to go away. I think it's going to go away. It's going to be like, your streaming services of, I'm going to pay for Halo to be advertised on this new video gaming system. Even Netflix has video games on their system, and they've broke into it. They've said, here's the game.
Stupid idea, by the way.
No, it's not. It's not.
I played one of them.
No, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying this. I'm saying that they're breaking forth into new territory that other streamers have not. You have to start somewhere, and I'm guaranteeing you the first, I would say, Netflix is probably one of the first where, it was the, hey, here's your CD or DVD, play it. And then they started offering things online. I'm sure it wasn't 100%, oh, I can see my movie, boom. No, I think there were mistakes. What I'm saying is I think that everything we know now is going to be because of streaming, because of online. Everything is going to become moot. You need to go to streaming services where everything is hosted. Everything. And I think if you were to do that right now, with the company who's going to do that right now, it's just like Microsoft or, was back in the, late 1980s, or Disney was back in the late 1960s. If you were to purchase into that company, 20 years from now, you would be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
100%. I believe that.
So the thing I take away from this whole thing is that the one thing I have not seen anywhere talked about is the one thing this could work where they can still be in the console making business, but they want to dip their toe in the water and give their exclusives over to their competition over on PlayStation. Do what you do you have a YouTube TV account, okay? You have a YouTube TV account. Yes. You want to watch this what's a Warner Bros. Let's say for example, you want to watch the recent Matt Reeves Batman movie. It's right there on YouTube TV. You want to play it. DVR is not available for you. It's only available if this is more suitable for Amazon. Amazon does this. You want to watch the Batman?
Yeah.
Click right here to sign up for an HBO Max subscription for you to watch it on our services.
Yes.
So what Xbox I think should do is they have this thing called Xbox Game Pass. Uh-huh. Essentially like online I got you. An online subscription.
Yes.
Put that on the PlayStation console and the PlayStation Store and say, hey, if you purchase our subscription for X amount of dollars a month,
yes,
charge them $10-$20 a month, probably $10 for starters.
Yes.
You get access to our library only with your subscription. You get Halo, you get Fable, you get all sorts of our games that are exclusively on our exclusively on our platform.
Yes.
And so
I need 2 minutes.
Yeah, you do 2 minutes.
I need
real
2 minutes.
quick.
Can you go to a camera angle?
I can go ahead and talk about something else.
Please do. Please do. What are you talking about?
I'll talk about something. I'll continue talking about this. Yeah. All right. Either way, just to talk more about PlayStation and Xbox while my father walks away for a bit. PlayStation is now synonymous with Spider-Man. Xbox is synonymous to Halo. And so when you have situations like that arise, I mean, again, it's a gold mine where, unfortunately for PlayStation, is that it's one of those things. I mean, not PlayStation, Xbox. Unfortunately for Xbox, you may create some of these games, but you don't have the customer base. You don't have the eyeballs. You don't have the amount of players online that you wish you had online for your exclusives that PlayStation does. And unfortunately, the business is to where you're never going to see God of War on Xbox. You're never going to see Spider-Man ever again on Xbox unless you buy the actual disc to like Web of Shadows. Which, by the way, this previous Spider-Man game, Marvel Spider-Man 2, heavily uses things from Web of Shadows, which, as a Web of Shadows fan, I am a big fan of. But in terms of going forward, this is the predicament that Xbox is in, and PlayStation's just going to rack in the dough. They're going to rack in the extra eyeballs that are going to be on their system, aim more people that want to buy their consoles. And going forward, it's just going to be one of those things where Xbox has to suck it up and say, hey, it is what it is. We have the smaller fan base. PlayStation has the bigger fan base. And how can we grow our fan base in terms of our content that we put out through Microsoft, Activision, etc., EA to an extent? How can we get more eyeballs on our games, essentially? And I think that's the perfect way to do it. Is you extend out your Xbox Gamers Pass as a feature for PlayStation players like me to go onto the PlayStation store and say, hey, you want to play our PlayStation games? I mean, Xbox games? Right. Like, Josh, you love Fable 3. You love Fable 2. You want to play that on your PlayStation? Yeah. You want that on your PlayStation? You can do it by subscribing to our Gamers Pass for a subscription for about a month or so. I mean, for every month you can pay for this sort of thing. Now,
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Now, here's the
kicker.
The kicker. And some tinfoil hat people think this
tinfoil. I love my tinfoil hat, Josh.
This is where the tinfoil hat people will come in with the actual streaming wars that are happening right now.
Yes.
Is you have folks like let's say for example you and me, like Mandalorian season 4 is coming out. I'm resubscribing to Disney Plus so we can watch it.
Yes.
And then once it's done, I'm unsubscribing.
I love that option.
The tinfoil hat people out there will say it's going to come to a point where the streamers are going to say, if you want our package, if you want our services, you have to be more than just a month. You have to be on here for 3 months.
6 months.
6 months, a year, 2 years.
I agree. I think it's going to come down to 100%.
Phone companies used to do.
I agree 100% with you because I think that the streamers are going to go the way of cable TV,
which they are with commercials. Yeah.
Hello. Netflix and
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus and I don't know about Netflix. I'm sorry, Disney Plus and Amazon. Amazon doing it. I mean, they're not over the board. It's like every 3 minutes they're doing a commercial, but still they're commercials. So the point is, you ditched cable TV. I ditched. Well, I don't know if you did, but I did. I think you did, right? Yes.
I never had cable TV.
Okay, there we go.
I have an antenna.
I got it. No. I'm just saying. I ditched. I don't want to say cable. It was satellite. But anyway, what I'm saying is I ditched traditional TV, where if you weren't accepting it via an over the antenna satellite kind of thing that you had on your house, whatever, or you had DirecTV or DishNet. Or whatever, or say Spectrum or I don't know, whatever, the traditional cable TV. You cut the cord, i.e. cut the cord, and went to what we call traditional, the streaming services, because it was cheaper, because you could cancel at any time, because you could add anything at any time and then cancel anything at any time, which I think is great. However, I think that moving forward, just like anything else, I mean, you look at the Hunger Games. They went from, hey, we're going to get rid of President Snow because he wanted the Hunger Games where people were getting killed, to President Coin, who was promising delivery, and then she ultimately decided, yeah, let's keep the Hunger Games where people get killed for no obvious reasons. I think that streaming took over cable TV that wanted to kill you, quote unquote, with their pricing, and then they lured you with these lower prices.
Disney Plus used to be like $6.99.
Yes, lower prices. You can cancel at any time, but guess what? First of all, you can't have everything you want with one streamer. You can't, right? Unless you go with a DirecTV or something.
Have everything, you might as well be paying for a satellite.
Yeah, I mean, you get everything with a broad streamer, or DirecTV, DishNet, whatever. But if you cut the cord and say, I only want this, I want Paramount Plus, right? I want Peacock, right? I want Netflix, right? Those are the three I want, right? But if you're going to do that, guess what? They are obviously Netflix, Amazon saying, hey, I said Amazon. I don't know if Netflix is doing it, but Amazon is saying,
Netflix does do commercials, yeah.
You want to incur our services without any commercials? Then guess what? It's an extra, I don't know, $2 a month, whatever.
$5, yeah.
Okay, got it. It's $2 to $5 months. It didn't sound like a lot, but over a period of a year, it's $60 for a year, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's always just like the government. I'm telling you, they take one thing, they take a little bit. Look, this little bit right here, and then they ask for it, and you say yeah, and then they say, well, based on whatever's going on, we need to do this. And then you say, okay, I got it. That's not too much, right? And then you keep going. It's the full finger, and I used the wrong finger. But what I'm saying is, they never say, oh, whoa, we've got too much money. Are you kidding me? We've got $500 million in our coffers because of what we charged you. Guess what? We're going to reduce the price of what it costs to watch our service. That never happens, ever.
No.
And because of that, that's what's eventually going to lead to cutting the cord and going to individual, streamers, whether it be Peacock and Paramount Plus and Netflix and Amazon and HBO Max. HBO Max, I think right now, is like $15 a month, maybe $16 a month. I think it's $15.99 per month, right? I don't know that to be fact. Don't charge me for that. I'm just saying I think I know that's what it is, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close. But what I'm saying is this. I think that it's going to become so cost exorbitant that people are going to say no, just like they were with cable. And guess what? Cable is going to come back and say, hey, I'm going to give you all of this for a third of the cost. I'm telling you, it's like this. It's
the circle of life.
It's an OODA loop of cycles. I'm telling you right now. What is it? March 17th, right? March 17th of 2024. Jack Mickle III is saying that streaming services are dead, and within 10 to 15 years, your basic cable companies, the way they are envisioned now, are going to make a comeback. Not the same way, obviously. I'm just saying they're going to make a comeback to where you're going to say, I don't want to do individual streaming services anymore. I want to go with this company because they're offering it cheaper. And then Another cycle, 10 years later, they're going to say, you're charging me too much. I'm going to go independent. Americans are fickle. Consumers, I should say, are fickle. They want whatever is the greatest taste, flavor right now for the best price. And they should. I believe 100% in capitalism. I don't care what anybody says about socialism or communism. Capitalism is the way to roll because the more competition you have, lowers the price. And guess what? People, if it weren't for capitalism, we wouldn't have the cars we have now. We would have things like the Dodge Aries, the K car. And no one knows, basically watching this, no one knows who a K car is. Look it up. Dodge K, as in K, kilo, K series car. Look that car up and tell me, is that the car you want to drive? And your ultimate answer would be, heck no. Okay? Because the Japanese were introducing better cars, cheaper, with better fuel mileage that looked a lot better. So competition creates better products. And then the K car turned into, I don't know, something better than the K car, guarantee you. Competition is the way to go. So if you're the only person to do a YouTube show, guess what? People will be tuning into you. But you don't have any pressure to bring any content, to bring anything of value, right? But if you had 4 or 5 or 6 people bringing, the same content, you would have competition. And guess what? You got to bring better content. You got to bring faster content. You got to bring content that is more enjoyable. You see what I'm saying? That's what competition does.
All right. And now finally, we're going to hit this topic. How are the Titans doing in free agency?
Oh my gosh.
Titans are big spenders in free agency so far and quietly putting together
really bad.
A big free agency haul in the NFL. But yet the NFL media continues to downplay what's going on in Tennessee.
Why do they do that, Josh?
I don't know. It's because I know why Patriot fans don't like what we're doing. Because they're sad that we ended Tom Brady's career with a pick 6.
But that's old. I mean,
So,
that's old news.
They still hold a grudge. Like Packer fans, we love Brett Favre, but we can't stand what he did with Minnesota. We will never forgive him for that.
No, I got that.
We will never forgive him for that.
So what's the question?
How would you grade their free agency haul?
Okay,
so far.
I can't remember them all, right?
Just on the ones you know.
No, I got it.
Calvin, Lloyd, Cushenberry.
Yes.
You got what's his name from Cincinnati? Yep.
Yeah. He goes by the name of Chi.
You got NWI back as a depth piece.
Yeah. Well.
He's wide receiver 5.
We've got the linebacker.
Yep, Kenneth Murray from
yes.
LA Chargers.
Who is a freak athlete. I got it. Who loves scuba diving because I saw that video. It's kind of crazy that I saw that.
I have not seen that video.
Yeah. Because he got injured. He got into breathing underwater. Well, I guess I'm assuming he didn't grow gills. So I'm assuming it was with some sort of scuba gear. So because of that, he got into scuba diving.
So what's wrong with this picture?
So because the number 0 allowed the other number 0 to really eat his lunch. That's what I didn't.
And he took his number too.
Yeah.
So
I don't like it.
He took his number.
And number 0 with us is no longer there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like photos that show defeat. Anyway, I
see it as a photo of victory.
No,
because he's with us now.
Yeah, I got it. I would give our free agency signings so far. Oh my gosh! With you got to say Mason Rudolph, who is a backup quarterback. Who was the last Pittsburgh Steeler backup quarterback we signed?
Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell. Wow, that's crazy.
Days.
And then what did we do when Neil O'Donnell was our backup quarterback? Let me think.
When?
Yeah, we won. Yeah, even when he got into the game, because Steve McNair bruised his heart, which is crazy. Neil O'Donnell won us, I think, 2 or 3 games in a row, right?
And then,
as a backup.
And what game did McNair come back?
I think it was against the Steelers.
Yes,
because I was at that game. It was like 20 below. I had to wear. I told my wife this. I would never mention this, but as a football player in high school, when it got really cold, and you can't wear sweatpants or anything as a football player, we typically would wear pantyhose, because I'm telling you, pantyhose are warm. Right? I mean, you got to cut it out in certain places to kind of make it fit. But what I'm saying is pantyhose work. So I was like, Julie, I need to go to Walmart to give me some pantyhose. She was like, I don't roll that way. You know? I'm like, no. I need to go to give me something to warm because there's going to be sub-zero temperatures. And
why didn't we do this for the Chargers game in Christmas? That was sub-freezing temperatures too.
It was what?
Yes,
the game you and I went to.
Yes, on Christmas. That was not. It was 20 degrees like with a wind chill, with a wind chill of single digits.
No. Oh my God! I don't know what game you were at, but it wasn't.
I lost my blanket in the bathroom.
It was not that cold in San Diego.
No, it was in Nashville. The Christmas game. We went to a Christmas game.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay, it was cold, but I'm not going to tell you.
The San Diego game, it rained.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to tell you to wear pantyhose. Anyway, it was, no, but it wasn't as cold as that. What I'm saying is the game we went to was like literally negative 2 degrees, whatever. And I was like, hey, Julie, this is what we did as football players. I don't want you to freak out. You got to buy, and I did. I bought some pantyhose. They were like really too small. And I rip them up and kept me warm a little bit. But anyway, what I'm saying is, yeah, that's the game that we went to and won based on, what's his name? He kicked 2 field goals. Well, field goal first was missed, but there was a flag. Is that right? No, he made it.
You're talking about the playoff game.
Yeah. He made it, Joe Nedney. That's what it was. So he
missed it.
I think, I'm trying to remember. He made 3 field goals. Or of 3 field goals, he made 2. I think he made the first one penalty.
No, he missed the first one. Penalty. And it was an acting job, and even the Titans announcers were like...
they ran into him. Okay. And then he took the second one, but it wasn't...
It was good.
No, but I don't think it was accepted. I think it was another penalty. Was it? Was it 2? I said
it was just 2.
Anyway, Joe Nedney won us the game. And I remember Bill Cowher famously going towards the refs. Running towards the ref, and I was right there. I was on the 10-yard line in the seats, and I saw him run towards the officials with this piece of paper, and he was like, look at this, look at this. And I was like, F you, Bill, you lost. I mean, I was so into it, right? And there was like probably 20,000 Steeler fans in the stadium, right? So Julie and I go to leave, and we should have stayed, just kind of let the crowd dissipate. But we go to leave, and literally there's this crowd of humanity that can't go anywhere. So your mother and myself literally were so close in with everybody else that we got stood up, and we're like this. Penguins. And we moved, I swear to you, 20 feet without even touching our feet to the ground. I'm telling you, it was that tight. It was a mob mentality. I was like, it was like this. Hey, Julie, are you okay? You know, it was scary. And then as soon as we got to our feet and we got to his side, I was so mad. But anyway, yeah, that's the game we went to with our last Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback as a backup.
So that's your whole basis point of what happened in the past that makes Brayson Rudolph a good signing for us.
No, I'm just saying that Neil O'Donnell came in when Steve McNair literally had, I think, the middle finger of his throwing hand had been ripped off.
2 plays, yeah.
His skin had been ripped off. It was basically meat, right? And it was 2 series that Neil O'Donnell came. I mean, I don't think we did anything really major in that time. I'm just talking about when he bruised his heart. You know, he got hit in the sternum. That Neil O'Donnell came in, won us I think 2, maybe 3 games. I can't remember. But Neil came in when Steve McNair had his, middle finger or maybe throwing finger, I don't know, and ripped off basically the skin. And he came in, whatever, did 3 downs, and they punted. But it gave Steve the opportunity to tape it up. Steve McNair, I'm telling you, say what you want about the man. He was tough. I mean, he was country tough. Not just tough like, tough. No, he could wrestle pigs and hogs and cows. He was country boy strong. And I don't know if you know anything about country people, old or young, but when they, have to go out and wrestle pigs and cows and other livestock, those people are strong as, those people have muscles, right? It's like old man strength. I'm telling you, don't wrestle a guy who's in his 60s or 70s because they have strength you don't know about, So, and Steve McNair had that. He was country boy strong and came in after having his finger almost ripped off his hand, taped it up, came in and won the game for us.
And what's that have to do with Mason Rudolph?
Why
is Mason Rudolph a good sign? You're talking about the past, and you're hoping to repeat itself. Will Levis is going to have a busted finger.
So you're the first one to say, hey, when we had this person and that person or this happened or that happened, back in the day, this is what happened. I'm telling you, back when we had a Pittsburgh Steeler come in and be a backup quarterback, we made it to the Super Bowl.
Well,
I'm telling you that.
Well, Neil O'Donnell first made a stopgap trip to the Jets as their starter before he came to
That's not what I'm saying. He was... Okay, everybody forgets about the Jets. I'm just saying he was a former Steeler guy. I'm just saying that this year, or next year, I should say, is very similar to 1999 when we went to the Super Bowl. I'm just telling you that. Does it mean a whole heck of a lot? No, it doesn't. I'm just saying, comparatively speaking, we have a quarterback who's going to be a second. McNair, I think it was a 3rd or 4th year quarterback. We had a established backup quarterback. We had an established head coach. We had a defense that was lights out, right? I don't know if our defense is going to be lights out. I suspect it will be. We had a uniform change. And I am on uniform changes. I'm telling you, when a team changes their uniform, they go to the Super Bowl.
They do really good the first year, yes.
Look at those, I would say, last 10 years, right? The teams that have changed the uniforms that have went to the Super Bowl or gone to the Super Bowl, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Or maybe not the same year, but the year after.
The odds are better, yeah. And
I don't know why.
The Chargers, the Dolphins...
The Bengals
would like to have a word with you because
the Bengals did it. When they did it, the LA Rams did it. I mean, they changed it and went to the Super Bowl. The Titans did it when they changed theirs and went to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, when you change your uniform,
we were one game away.
Something changes.
We were one game away from the Super Bowl in 2019 when we changed our uniform.
I got it. What I'm saying is...
No, just to support your point.
No, I got it. What I'm saying is when you change your... I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a mindset, which goes to say, hey, words mean something, right? A change of culture means a lot of things. So you change your uniform, and guess what? Guess what else we're changing in 2025?
What is it? What is
or
it?
A stadium? I don't know. You're getting a brand new stadium?
They ain't coming out to 2027. That's years away. That's years away, man.
I thought it was 25.
We're building a stadium and like a metropolitan, like Rams style.
So we got to wait till 27 to get a Super Bowl?
Well, you can get a Super Bowl the year before it opens.
No.
And we finally got Keith in the comments. He finally he finally got back. Might have spoken on it already, but why not pay A.J. Brown when you could have? You were willing to pay an older receiver and Ridley. He's Ridley, and it was pointed out on this as I get my camera. Keith, I will explain this to you right here. Calvin Ridley, it was explained well on ADC Sports, so shout out to Austin Stanley. He deserves the credit for this info, not me, and I'm trying to remember as best I could of how he described it. The dude was an orphan. He didn't get into college. Like his freshman year, he was like in his 20s.
Who?
Calvin Ridley.
Okay.
And then he didn't enter the pros until he was like in his mid-20s. And then he gets suspended for the
22.
for the year.
Yes.
He was out for half the year because of a personal issue, which led to gambling, which I always suspected was one
So how much tread does he have on his
he's
tire?
got a lot of tread. Yes, he has a lot of.
So
Like
he's
if-
29, but in actuality,
He's got AJ Brown tread. Yes,
he's probably 27.
he's got AJ Brown tread.
He's
Yes,
27 in reality, right? Plus, Keith, thank you so much, Hammer Health, at Hammer Health, for giving us that question. I would say that different GM,
Yep.
who started out really well, right? And John Robinson, I think he started out, I think he was with us, 6 years? His first 3 years, I think,
2016 to 23.
I think draft-wise, we drafted fairly well. We had one really down the year, 22. But anyway,
that was his only down year. Yeah,
but that was the year plus the AJ Brown signing trade
he got fired,
to Philadelphia that ultimately sealed his fate. But what I'm saying is that was a different general and I will tell you this, Keith, is that I watched just today the 2020 regular season playoff game. Regular season game between the Titans
and the Ravens.
They were both 6-3. They were playing at Baltimore.
Were they airing the game because of Derrick Henry?
Probably. You know how that is. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. There's a twist, spin. They're
that's
there.
Anyway, so random. Yeah.
So the 2020 week 12 game or 13 game, whatever it was, both the teams, Baltimore and Tennessee, were 6-3. Eventually, Tennessee won that game. I think it was 30-24 or something like that. But watching two people, specifically AJ Brown and Derrick Henry. AJ Brown. Okay, so the thing with AJ Brown is yards after catch. He's a master at that. You get him clean and catches, he's going to take it and probably get you another 5, 10, 15 yards at least.
And he'll bulldoze people too.
Yeah. If you catch him cleanly. However, in that game, right, I think he caught like 5 passes. There was like 3 of which were contested. Didn't get it because they were contested. He's not a fighter. He's not a fighter for the ball. Not going up to, throwing some elbows, whatever it takes. Hey, I'm in my route. I'm on my zone. Throw it to me. I got to readjust. I can't adjust enough, right? Maybe it's a little bit on the quarterback. I got it in Ryan Tannehill. But there was a couple passes that were right to him that the corner came up and said and sealed it and said no because he didn't go towards the ball. He's not a fight for it ball handler. Okay? He is a catch it clean and I'm going to score you a touchdown, right? Possibly. Same thing with Derrick Henry. And I looked at it specifically for this cause. People say, oh, we should have signed Derrick Henry. I don't know. I love Derrick Henry, blah, blah, blah. Derrick Henry did more for the Tennessee Titans than possibly any other player. I got it. He deserves his praise. When he goes into the Hall of Fame, it should be as a Tennessee Titan. If the Ravens win a Super Bowl with him, it better be Hall of Fame Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry. Not a Raven, right? That being said, I watched that game against the Ravens, and it was the same thing I saw, and I'm sure you saw during the regular season. If you hit Derrick Henry at or behind the line of scrimmage, he will not gain more than 2 yards, period. Point blank, I'm telling you, I've never seen him legitimately hit. Not there's like somebody putting a hand on him. I'm talking about legitimately try to tackle him at or behind the line of scrimmage. He's only going to get a couple yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He's like a freight train. Have you ever seen a freight train where they go the freight train is slipping on the tracks because it's just starting It's sliding. It's just spinning its wheels. But then eventually the wheels catch up to the rails, and it's here we go. Oh, I'm telling you, once those wheels get started, you're not stopping it. That's Derrick Henry. He was a freight train in the sense that once he started getting beyond, or the blocking was there, and he could get beyond the line of scrimmage, you're not stopping him. I got it. A home run, right? But before he gets to the line of scrimmage, he's that freight train trying to gain track. He's spinning his wheels, spinning his wheels. And he has dead legs. I don't care how much you love Derrick Henry. You cannot watch Derrick Henry and say he does not have dead legs prior to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't. Once he gets hit, he goes down. There was no churning of the legs. Right? And then Derrick Henry's not offer you the out of the backfield passing option. Now,
I thought we used him in. We hardly did.
I'm not saying, look. But Derrick Henry.
Common myth, if you're watching as a Titan fan, common myth is Derrick Henry does not contribute in the passing game. We hardly gave him chances in the passing game. That's just my opinion, and we saw it versus Miami.
That's where we'll disagree. Yeah. Because once you have Derrick Henry in the backfield, 99.9% of the time, either he's going to be used as an option to fool you, or he's going to run. He's not going to be used in the passing game because he needs opportunity to accelerate. And as a passing option, there's always going to be a safety or a corner who is mirroring, or somebody who's going to be there. He can't churn his legs fast. He's fast, but he's not quick. He can't churn his legs quick enough to avoid these people. And so when Henry is involved, you become really one-dimensional, right? And I know I didn't ask Key's question necessarily, but what I'm saying is that AJ Brown.
His next
right?
his next question was: are you mad about him choosing the Ravens though of all teams?
No, absolutely not mad.
I'd much rather him go to the Cowboys. That's just me.
Because that's an NFC team. Oh, I got it.
No, because I want him to realize the error of his ways, and he'll be another one of.
Oh, you think he's?
He'll give the Cowboys hope.
No, I got it.
And then they'll still stumble and fall in January.
But I don't.
And we'll laugh at them.
Yeah, I don't. I agree, and I respect that opinion. But I don't think that the Ravens. So had Derrick Henry been part of last year's team, would the Ravens have made it beyond their initial game? And I don't think so, because again, you're going to look at, if you're a defensive coordinator, you're going to look at Derrick Henry. You're going to look at the Baltimore Ravens. You're going to look at how they run things. They're a run team. They're a run first team, really. Ultimately, with their quarterback, who's a running quarterback, with their running game, which I'm assuming is going to be a running first kind of. It's going to be the Titans of 2020, really, because Ryan Tannehill can run. I mean, people don't give him credit for that, but he could run.
Not anymore.
No. 2020 he could, and he did.
I said not anymore.
I got it, but in 2020 he did.
Yes,
that was what I'm saying. Stick with me here. So, and in 2020, we made it to the AFC Championship. But, Derrick Henry is obviously now, 4 years older. But I don't think that the Ravens' deficiency derives from a lack of ground game. I think the Ravens' deficiency from pursuing pass or going past the first round or two of the playoffs, I think the deficiency lies in the quarterback. Plain and simple. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, now regular season, different story, but the playoffs, he has proven, just like Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill in the regular season, elite, top three quarterbacks. You go to the playoffs, he's the bottom, the absolute bottom, right? And I think Lamar Jackson's the same way. Now, could 2024 be different? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think that Derrick Henry is going to be the reason behind that, because, what are they going to do? Hand it off to Henry, or no, I'm going to keep it and run it. as Lamar Jackson. That's basically what you got Henry for. But that doesn't put your quarterback's temperature, your quarterback's, whatever it is to throwing, their quarterback's talent towards throwing. I'm going to hand it off, or I'm going to keep it. That's not throwing, right? Yes, I'm going to hand it off. Everybody's going to go this way, and I'm going to go this way as a quarterback. Okay, so everybody's this way. I could possibly gain 10, maybe 5 or 10 yards, but eventually that's going to be figured out, right? You're going to have a spy, right? So eventually Lamar Jackson's going to have to figure out how to be a pocket passer. A pocket passer. Not a runner. A pocket passer. And you know how I feel about quarterbacks who are not pocket passers. How many have won a Super Bowl? Tell me that.
Pocket passers? A lot.
No. How many non-pocket passers have
Very
won a
few.
Super Bowl? No. Name me. Who?
Steve Young.
Steve Young. Thank you very much. And that's it. Steve Young is the only non-pocket.
Russell Wilson.
No. Russell Wilson learned to play in the pocket.
But
he had the threat of running,
Yes.
but he was a pocket. He learned to. And I'm saying Lamar can't learn. I'm saying, and he has learned. I'm just saying that the Ravens.
He's the same Mahomes, which he can run. Yeah.
He's a pocket passer. He can, look. Don't
We're getting way off
confuse.
topic, man.
No. Don't confuse somebody who can actually work outside of when a play breaks down as a non-pocket passer, because that's not true. A pocket passer should learn to read a defense and pass on your first, second, or third. If it's not there, guess what? You're running. All right? And if you can make that read quick, guess what? You're running quicker. Mahomes, right? Lamar Jackson could be that guy, right? Steve Young was that guy. I'm saying how quickly can you read a defense? Just say, my first read is not there. My second read is not there. My third read is not there. Oh my God, let me take off. Especially if they're playing man-to-man. Their back is to you. So guess what? You're immediately going to gain at least 5 yards. More than likely, probably 10 or 15 yards. That's what Steve Young did. Because he could process defenses, right? I'm asking Lamar Jackson, can you process a defense so quickly that you can do 3 reads without throwing and then decide to run and still be successful with Derrick Henry? And I'm thinking, Derrick Henry, we went through this. We went through this before. Free agent signings, draft signings. Who has, high-end free agent signings, high-end draft picks. How many of those have been running backs that have won the Super Bowl? Zero. There's not been a high drafted running back or a free agent signing that has directly resulted in a team winning a Super Bowl.
McCaffrey came close to
No,
being that
McCaffrey,
one.
no. But he didn't. That's the whole thing. Close
Yeah, I know.
I don't care about
I
close.
know.
Did they win a Super Bowl? No.
I know.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell, who was the guy from Saints, went to Miami?
Ricky
Williams. No, absolutely not. The only thing I could think of is Chicago Bears, but he was already there. And they had a once-in-a-lifetime defense, which carried that whole team, right? A receiver, a running back, a linebacker, a cornerback, alone are not going to win you a Super Bowl. What wins you a Super Bowl, Joshua? One player. What one player wins you a Super Bowl?
Elite
You can say it.
No. Elite quarterback.
Yeah, elite quarterback. If you have an elite quarterback, then you can surround him with whoever. But if you have an elite quarterback, your chances of winning a Super Bowl just went up 200%.
How do we get off topic, man? You
asked me a question.
And too much in depth.
But
The topic is Titans. Stick on the topic.
I went Titans.
No, you're talking about
We
Ravens.
have an elite quarterback in Will Levis. We have a running back by committee.
We hope we have an elite
We have a
quarterback.
coach that can actually coach into the 21st century. Thank you, Brian Callahan. Oh, my God. Goodbye, Mike Vrabel. 1980s, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Please go to Cleveland and try to tell Jim Schwartz how to run a defense. Really? Are you kidding me? That is garbage. 100% garbage. How? What?
Yeah.
What? And then people saying Mike Vrabel's
we can talk about that for a second.
Mike
Vrabel and the
Vrabel's
Browns.
the next coming to Jesus for coaching? Are you kidding me? What? When? Where? How did that happen? Where? It didn't happen with us. Where did it go? I don't know.
I don't know where that went, but
I feel a little bit about that. I really do.
I tell you what, though, with the Calvin Ridley signing,
Yes,
and then the one that two things that ultimately just was the opposite of Vrabel was two things.
Yeah.
The cutting of Andre Dillard.
Yes.
Which, hallelujah.
Yes. Thank you,
The
Jesus.
turnstile of a left tackle. We sent an Uber to his house, and
Yes.
it's going straight to hell.
After Dennis Daly left. Thank you.
And then
yes.
we swap out Aaron Brewer. So good job, Aaron Brewer.
Thank you. I love you, Aaron Brewer.
You got your money in Miami.
Hey,
Congratulations.
look, I love you,
Good
Aaron
luck-
Brewer, but you are not a starting center
Good luck
at all.
Good luck. Good luck, Miami, and protecting Tua.
Good luck, Tua.
Yeah.
I think you're going to
And
be
we
knocked
signed-
out
and
a
we-
lot more.
And we signed Lloyd Cushenberry
Thank you.
to give Will Levis some cushion.
An authentic center for the first time in 2 years. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Lloyd Cushenberry.
Bigger, taller.
Taller. You know what the joke
Less
was?
black.
You know what the joke was?
Less
with Aaron Brewer being hired as the center for the Dolphins, is that Tua can actually see his receivers now. He was. Yeah, it's a joke. Anyway,
Yeah, that'd be the joke for.
it's a joke. It's an insider
Bryce Young,
football joke. Yeah.
That'd be a Bryce Young joke.
Yeah. Brewer's kind of short, whatever, and light, and Tua's not exactly tall. But anyway,
But
there's that.
I like
Thank
what
you.
I like what they're doing, and
Yes.
we still got $50+ million in cap space still for this year.
Yes,
and
we do.
Even though some of the defensive signings have not come our way by way of free agency, like a Jerome Baker, for example.
They said that he had a bum ankle.
They
so I don't know.
they still got Justin Simmons out there. You still got Chase Young out there.
Should we sign those?
I think the longer this pursues and we sign him, it's going to be to a cheaper deal.
Which
Either
one
one of them. Either one of them.
But if you had to prioritize, which one? The linebacker or the corner?
I'm doing the safety, Justin Simmons, because that's what I've gotten the indication from Denard Wilson, our defensive
The safety,
coordinator,
I'm sorry,
is
corner. Yeah.
is that we're going to prioritize passing coverage. And
So what are your draft needs going into April?
I think if Rand Carthon gets
Let him cook.
if he gets a call from the Vikings with picks 11 and 23, and they're picking a quarterback, you take that deal and you make
So
them
you're going to slide back to 11.
and you make them cough up a third-round pick. You make them cough up a third-round pick. They give you 3 picks for the 1.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you can still draft.
What are those 3
and
picks?
You can still draft Olu Fashanu.
You better give me
You can probably get Joel Old possibly at 11.
I want your other first round pick, right?
Both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not both.
11
We're
or 23.
switching. So, no. When somebody switches a first round pick, that's not.
When
that's
they
not
are
saying,
gunning
"Oh,
for a
I'm giving you
quarterback."
11th round. I'm leaving you 11th." No, we're swapping picks, so that's a wash. I'm
When
saying,
they
give
are-
me your other first round, right, and then give me a third round at least, and then give me another whatever round, and not a 7th round. I'm talking about 3rd or lower. That's how it roll. And if Minnesota didn't want to roll that way, guess what? Deal's off the table. And guess what? If Minnesota really wanted it, and I think they do, they would say, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. There is no way with our draft capital, which is very limited at this point, I would hamstring us without giving us multiple picks this year and next year. No way. You want to go up and get your draft franchise quarterback, which you're not going up to get a linebacker. You're not going up to get a wide receiver. You're going up to get a quarterback, a franchise who's going to lead you to the Super Bowl for the next 10, 20 years, right? So in response to that, I want recompense. I want the world for that. I want what San Francisco gave up for Trey Lance. That's what I want.
So if you're Rand Carthon and the Vikings give you a call, you're on the clock.
Yes.
All the wide receivers are gone.
Yes.
And they say, hey, here's pick 11.
So you're saying,
here's pick 23.
3 wide receivers are gone in the top
possibly
6 picks?
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, it's possible, but I got
Cardinals again, Marvin Harrison Jr. The Chargers could possibly get one of the receivers because they let go Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yes, I agree.
And the Giants might give whoever their quarterback is a target.
I think the Giants are getting a quarterback, but I got it. Okay, got it.
They're not drafting the quarterback.
I think they would. They would get the third or fourth quarterback off the table.
It'll be the 4th quarterback by that point.
Do you think Daniel Jones is the guy? Who else?
Of course I don't. But the Giants still are stuck
Who else
with him.
was with him? Just somebody signed with him as a free agent. There was
Drew Lock.
Do you think Drew Lock or Daniel Jones are going to take you to the Super Bowl? Absolutely not.
Danny DeVito for them.
Daniel DeVito. I would trust Daniel DeVito over what they have. You know what I'm saying? No. You have to have, unless you have a god awesome defense, you have to have a franchise quarterback. Not just any franchise, but you have the franchise quarterback, right? So Tampa Bay had Johnson when they won their first Super Bowl, but they had an awesome defense. Awesome. Chicago had Jim McMahon, who was a kind of quarterback, right? But they had an awesome, I mean, once in a lifetime defense. Every other team that has won has had an elite quarterback. So if you can trade up, get a free agent, I don't care who it is, Denver with Peyton Manning or whatever. If you can get a franchise quarterback, you trade everything. So when New Orleans trade everything to get Ricky Williams as a running back, that was so stupid. So stupid. Because no, a running back, a receiver, a cornerback, anybody else, they're icing on the cake. Who is the cake? The cake is quarterback. You got to have cake before you can have icing. You got to have a franchise quarterback on top of whom you can put icing, right? Look at all the quarterbacks who've won the Super Bowl. Unless they had literally an elite, and I'm not talking like top 10, I'm talking like top 2 defenses, or maybe top 3 defenses. Anything else other than an elite quarterback will not win you a Super Bowl. And if the question is, how do we win a Super Bowl, which should be, right? I think we have it in Will Levis, right? I think we have it in Will Levis. He's our cake. How do we surround him with some icing? That's my question. Joshua, refute me. Go ahead. I dare you.
You know, Angels in the Outfield.
I love Angels in the Outfield.
Where you have
it's God's thumbnail.
You have Rich Wilder, and he had his compadre, and he can control.
You can't fire me.
In the middle, he has like his compadre is on off mic. I wish I could turn off your mic sometimes right now.
Oh, you want to turn off a mic?
Because you're going on a tangent. You're on a tangent. You're on a tangent.
Question.
Yes. No, you answered a whole tangent on the Giants. I'm asking you back to the original question.
Okay. No.
You are Rand Carthon. Yes, all the wide receivers are gone. Okay. Top 3 wide receivers are gone. By the time you are picking your draft pick at 7.
Yes.
Joel Alt is still on the board.
Yes.
But the Vikings come calling you and say,
I got it.
Hey, we're going to draft our quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, for argument's sake.
Yes.
And we're going to give you picks 11, picks 23, and our 3rd round pick.
Do I do that?
Do you pull the trigger or do you draft Joel Alt? I am heavily considering it, but if I'm held my feet to the fire, I want a Hall of Famer type sure thing protecting Will Levis for the next 10 years.
But
I can see that I can see the upside to where I've seen mock drafts where Olu Fashanu falls to 15.
And Fuaga from Oregon State is actually in some drafts ranked higher than both of them. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, I don't know why, but here's the thing. Okay, to answer your question.
Yes.
I am Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. My job, as I've said, score touchdowns. I want to score touchdowns. Now, I understand. If I don't have an offensive line that can protect my quarterback who can throw, we've all seen the whatever drawing that said, anybody on an offensive line drop back, he gets sacked as a quarterback. But anybody as you select a top of the line offensive lineman and anybody on the quarterback can throw to anybody on the offensive line to complete a ball. I got it. That's mediocre. Okay, I got it. I don't believe it though. I think basically based on Bill Callahan Sr. being on board that and players who have come in. Most notably, Lloyd Cushenberry said, "Why did you come here? Because of him. Because he's such a great coach." Because he's going to earn me more money. Because if I learn to block better, and I do block better, guess what?
You're already being paid.
I'm going to get a contract that's going to be 3 times what I'm making now. That being said, I think we could draft not mediocre players, but less than first tier, maybe 1.5 or second tier, right? Whoever we draft in the first round, I think is going to have to be someone, and I'm going against everything I believe, but I think that whoever we draft in the first round, if we stick and pick at 7, is going to be somebody who can actually score touchdowns. Point blank a period.
So you think there's a chance Brock Bowers is our number 7th pick?
No, I think, no, not necessarily, because we have the 7th pick. So you're thinking 3 quarterbacks and 3 what?
And my scenario is all Neighbors, Rome, Harrison Jr. are off the board.
And you got Neighbors, you got Harrison Jr., you got Adunze, but you also have other.
Those are your top 3.
I got it. And then you have, this is also offensive lineman kind of, it's not heavy. I don't know, Josh. I think that Brian Callahan is going to go towards someone who's going to be able to score touchdowns. 100%. I do with that first pick. I do. I would like Alt, but I think if Alt's gone, right? Whoever, let me caveat with this.
If Alt's gone, then
if
one
Alt
wide
is not there,
yeah.
Because we signed Ridley, right? I think if Alt is not there,
a wide receiver will be there for us. Yes,
but I don't know, Josh. Gosh, I mean, we got Fashanu, whatever his name is,
yeah.
And you got the guy from Oregon State, Fuaga, I think is his name. I don't. If we trade back to 11,
and we get the 23rd pick,
I don't know. I think we get the. I think we go with the lineman, whoever's available of those 5 we mentioned, and then on the 20 whatever pick,
get the wide receiver or a corner,
get a wide receiver,
or a corner,
and hopefully we get a 3rd round pick, and we have a 3rd round pick.
Exactly,
because we need a corner. Obviously, we need a corner. You need a linebacker, right? There's so many needs this team has because we're so far back because of Vrabel pushed us back into the 1985 version of a football team that we have to build up. And I think that free agency wise, we have actually made a huge dent into. So the draft is not like, oh, I need to reach for a player. I think now we can actually draft to the best player available, BPA. I think we can do that. If that player is a linebacker, if that player is a corner,
I think
if that player is a receiver.
I think you're going to see pitchforks if we draft a linebacker at 7.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we have the option. We have options now. I don't think it's going to be a linebacker either. I'm just saying it could be Brock Bowers. It could be one of the receivers. It could be Joe Alt or Fashanu or Fuaga, one of those 3 linemen. And I think with our current coaching staff, then I think that no matter who we draft is going to be coached up, right? And not be a freaking revolving door like Daly and Dillard were.
Duncan.
Please don't. So long as his name don't end in begin with a D, I'm good. Give me somebody else, please. You know what I mean?
It's like the never-ending door of like how many head coaches need to be named
Mike. I'm done with Mike. All right? None of them took us to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Woo! And this is Mike Tomlin. I don't want another quarterback or a coach named Mike.
Mike McDonald from the Ravens.
Oh, jeez.
When that was out there, possibly.
So,
I think
it's a crapshoot. We never know. We don't know. So many trades could happen. I don't know.
Best case scenario is the Vikings hop us with, say, the Chargers.
Okay. And pick a quarterback.
Or the Giants, and they pick a quarterback, and that leaves us with one of the top 3 receivers, and Joel All possibly on the board.
Yes, that will leave us with much more because we don't need a quarterback.
Then the question is going to be, NFL media is going to be saying, "Oh, they're definitely picking Joel All," where us fans were like, "Have you not heard?" What,
bro?
Brian Callahan has said at the combine.
Look, if I were
what Rand Carthon said at the combine.
If I were like in the American government doing psychology, or I should say psych ops. Where their design is to get into the heads and hearts of the people to make them change their minds. I would say, hey, you need a quarterback. I don't care if it took bad mouthing a current player that you wanted, because it happens every draft. Hey, somebody leaks word out. This player doesn't work hard enough. This player is involved in drugs. This player is injury prone.
And this person puts mayo in their coffee.
Because they want them to fall to where they want to pick. That's the whole point. That's gamesmanship. Does that suck for the player? Yes. Is it unfair for the player? Yes, 100%. But if you're an NFL franchise and you're trying to get the most bang for the buck, then guess what? Who do you want? Who do you need? Then guess what? You put the feelers out there, the words out there. You plant the seed to say, I don't know. What I saw is that he didn't prepare enough well for games. What I saw... his ankle was, kind of limited. What I saw was, he took plays off. And you spread that. And then maybe GMs and owners pay attention to that. I don't know. You saw it happen to boy with the face mask and smoking weed. He dropped. Yeah. And he turned out to be a really good offensive lineman.
For the Dolphins, and he ultimately got traded to the Texans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do that, it's gamesmanship. I got it.
So I think it's going to be an interesting April night for draft night.
I think this is going to be one of the most interesting draft nights in the last probably 5 or 10 years. I really do. Just because of, there's been a lot of movement.
Justin Fields now a Steeler.
Ryan
Tannehill's still out there.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah. Justin Fields a Steeler? What
Kenny Pickett's an Eagle.
I don't disagree with
There you go, Keith. How you feel about the Eagles? Kenny Pickett, Mr.
Kenny Pickett. That's
Mr.
Super Bowl.
Small hands.
He's going to take you to the Super Bowl, Hammer Health.
I said this to you, and you probably rolled your eyes, and you probably like, you know what? If this happens, you got to be kidding me moment. Where I said to you, this could be the Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz moment with Kenny Pickett going to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts will struggle. Kenny Pickett will be put in. Jalen Hurts will be traded. And Kenny Pickett's going to have a good year. And then in 2 years, he's going to take the Eagles to the Super Bowl with a brand new head coach.
I'm going to speak for
we're going to start the cycle
I'm going to speak
all
for
over
Hammer
again.
Health and say you're out of your Cotton big and mine. I think that possibly Mason Rudolph would actually beat out Will Levis for QB1. Now,
yeah, you should.
I am not doubting Levis. I'm not. I hope he takes us to the promised land. I'm saying that Mason Rudolph, according to Steeler Nation, and you can look,
they hated him before last year.
They did not.
Yes, they did.
They did not.
They hated him before this previous season, and it was only convenient that they love him when he wins.
I don't know what you've been reading, but literally everything I've been reading, Mason Rudolph has been the guy that they loved because he won them into the playoffs.
This past year. What about the previous years? No shows, and also they couldn't stand him.
No, Mason Rudolph wasn't he wasn't the guy they were supposed to depend on.
Yeah.
It was Kenny Pickett.
When he was in as a backup,
my God.
they couldn't stand him.
I'm sorry, folks.
They only defended him versus Myles Garrett.
Of what he speaks.
They only defended him.
Steeler Nation loved Mason Rudolph.
No, they did not.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know who you're reading. They did. Everything I'm reading says they did.
I follow the most diehard.
You do not.
Inexplicable Steelers fans. Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No,
and they can't stand Arthur Smith as a offensive coordinator.
I'm not talking about Arthur Smith. I'm talking about Mason Rudolph. They say he took us to the playoffs last year. He took us single-handedly to the play. They love him because of that.
A miracle run last year. What happened to you?
Yes.
And the year before that.
It doesn't matter about that. It doesn't matter about that. He has an 8-4 starting record, Joshua. 8-4 as a starter. 8-4.
What was his record before this year?
8-4 is his record.
Before this year.
Joshua, 8 wins versus 4 losses as a starter. Well, I don't care when he started. He's 8-4 as a starter. How do you argue against that? I don't understand.
How do you argue versus 13-3 when Vince Young is a starter? Before his Eagles
Josh Dobbs, what is his record?
Winless with us.
Okay,
yeah.
But what is his record? It's probably like 3-6.
No, it was worse than that.
No.
It's worse than that.
Probably so. But you wanted to sign him.
Over Mason.
Yes, you wanted to sign him over somebody who's actually started as a quarterback in the NFL and won games.
Because he looked better with an inept Arizona Cardinals team and with a stout Vikings team when he went to the Vikings in the middle of the season.
And then he essentially wound up on the bench because of his playing.
Yeah, because
Mason Rudolph didn't get benched.
Because neither one of them
Mason Rudolph never got benched.
What do you always tell me about backup quarterbacks?
What?
Can they win me a game or two?
Yes.
They're not meant to last a whole season.
I got it. But you're sitting there saying, I'm sorry. Josh is not a pragmatic person. I'm sorry for you viewers. Mason Rudolph, outside of probably
you are the biggest Mason Rudolph apologist
outside
right now.
of Joe Flacco and Nick Foles, outside of those two, there is no other quarterback that has won more games than they have lost and has effectually led their teams in moments where they needed to be led. There is no other quarterback out there other than those two. None. Why would you not want to sign them? I don't get it. Who else would you sign, Joshua? Who?
Nobody.
Who?
Nobody.
Okay, there we go. We're going to lose our quarterback and then sign Mason Kinsey, who is a receiver, to be our quarterback.
You already have on the roster for free.
Joshua, you have to be... Please stay with me in real... Stay with me on Earth. Stay with me in reality.
Willis, I am rooting for you that you win the backup job. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You're not. You're
Yes,
not.
I
Who
am.
else, other than Mason, who else would you sign? Please don't tell me Josh Dobbs.
I will
say
say Joe Flacco.
Okay, I'll give you Joe Flacco.
I would have said whoever the Cincinnati starter was last year.
He's not going anywhere.
When Burrow got injured.
I got it.
Yeah.
He's staying there. You're not signing him. I'm saying
CJ
stick with me on planet Earth.
CJ
who is available to sign.
C.J. Beathard before he re-signed with the
C.J. Beathard.
Yeah.
What the hell is what is he?
He knows the system. He knows the system.
But he hasn't won anything. I need a quarterback who has won. I mean, won. Been there.
Good luck finding those.
Yeah, we did. Mason Rudolph. We did. Thank you.
We can agree to disagree.
No,
Yes.
there is no disagreement. He has won. Period. He has won.
The Last Airbender on Netflix was much better than I thought it was going to be. And you even said to me that's like it's not better, and I agree with you. It's not better than the original animated show, but it has its moments to where there are. So what the creators did and the showrunners is that I don't want to say they cherry picked, because they had like 8 episodes for an hour long.
Yes.
And what they did was interweave different stories from season 1 in the cartoon into the same storyline. Like you have the Omashu storyline, but then you also see Jet, which in the animated, he's somewhere else in a village where they could say, you know what, let's just bring him into Omashu where everything's going on.
Bonnie, what was it?
King Boomy.
Boomy.
Yes.
Yes.
Big ripped old man. Yes.
I love
You're talking about country boy wrestling. You do not want to come across King Boomy in his ripped body. Yes.
I think he's crazy, but I love him. Yeah.
You don't want to come across his ripped body. So
it's like me. Yeah, a crazy old man, ripped body.
But there are changes that were made that you and me just looked at each other like, wow, this was a vast improvement on the show. And the episode you will know when I mention it it's called Mask, and it's the whole thing with Prince Zuko. And
6, right?
I think it's 6. Yes.
Yeah, episode 6.
Mask.
Yeah.
Best episode of the show. The stuff they've added to it is like Chef's Kiss.
No spoilers, but yes.
It's the all the episodes are out. I think we can. I think we can talk about it.
Yeah. So
let's talk about it.
So we lived in San Diego.
When the show came out,
2009 through 2013. I was there
06 to 09. Yeah.
I was worked for NCIS in San Diego. During that time, for whatever reason, your mother and I became involved with whatever you guys were watching, which included iCarly, right? What was the one with the naked mole rat?
Kim Possible.
And The Last Airbender. Those were the 3 top ones that we wanted to spend time with our kids, and they loved those 3 specific episodes. So, but Julie and I really became involved and appreciated and whatever The Last Airbender, the series on was it Netflix? Was it? It was
Netflix.
Disney. Was it Netflix? Yeah, we have Disney.
It was like the cartoon. It was Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. That's where. But we watched it all the
Disney
way.
Can't touch that
through the end, and then when the movie came out, we were. I don't think your mother watched it, but I watched it. Was it? No, not Hugh.
Yeah, we're here.
But I watched it anyway. No, the first movie, not the one. Okay. So that being said, I love the Airbender. I think the whole storyline is awesome. For whatever reason, I mean, it's just because I like it. I mean, it's like asking someone, why do you like Star Wars? Why do you like, I don't know, The Hunger Games? Why do you like whatever franchise? I love the Airbender. I think, based on what I saw, from Nickelodeon, it was a great time. I mean, you associate movies with what is going on in your life at the time, right? So if you're going through a bad time in your life and you see a movie that really excites you, you really attach yourself. But when you're going through a really good time in your life and you see a movie, it's like that's a great time you associate with. And so that's with The Last Airbender, I think that's what we associated with was that was a great time for all 3 of our children, Nick, Julie, and myself. We loved it. So fast forward to now, and seeing this these episodes as the last Airbender, I would agree. Season 6 or episode 6, I should say.
Crown's Jewel.
It really, it was just one of those episodes where you say, "Wow." I mean, that's all I can say. Wow, how you took a storyline and I want to say change it, but you added so much to it. The director and whatever it was with that, I think they added so much to it that you were to say, but you have to know the previous, you know what I'm saying? You have to know the previous storyline to really appreciate it. But episode 6 was absolutely the cream on the cake, on the icing on the cake, which, I mean, the whole series was great, but I think episode 6 really added to the, oh yeah, I'm hooked kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And for those that are wondering what we're talking about is in episode 6, this involves Zuko's banishment towards the end.
Yes.
And there's something in the cartoon, the 31st, I think, is it 31st? It's 30-something. It's the 31st, I think, I want to say it's the 31st Division. And they're going over the battle plans in front of the Fire Lords, like, let's send in the 31st Division. That's just a whole bunch of recruits. You expect them to defeat all these Earthbenders?
Hold on a second.
Hold
on a second. Shh. Yeah. Maybe this is a, what do you call it, spoiler? Spoiler alert?
No, this is in the cartoon.
Oh, is it? Okay. I just don't want to go spoiler alert.
Where they pretty much do this all over again on Netflix, and then they take that, and then the writers say, you know what? Let's grab that element of the story and explain what happened to those guys.
It was awesome.
And it's like, wait.
If you haven't seen it,
that's perfect sense. Yeah. Yes. That would make total sense. Like, even in the real world, like, you could see some, like, douchebag of a boss or lord or king and be like, you know what? If you care about these guys so much, take him with you. Yeah. Take him with you.
If you were to explain it, it wouldn't do it justice. You have to know, first of all, you got to watch the story. But if you know the lore, right, of The Last Airbender, and you know how it went with the animated series, and then you watch this, and then you watch episode 6, I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it, your mind's going to be blown. And if you haven't seen it, you should know that, episode 6 was, it took a character whom you didn't respect or admire at all, and then it took it from there to, man, that's pretty awesome. I respect and admire that person now. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Especially how you see with his crew throughout the whole season. Yeah. Before that episode. It's like, oh, man, we can't stand this guy. One of them might be a spy for General Zhao or Admiral Zhao. It's like, here's what Zuko's doing behind the scenes, like leaking information to him and the rest of the crew there, and only to find out, wait, it's like, he's the reason we're alive.
The episode kind of reveals something different.
He's the reason we're alive.
Episode 6.
We're not dead.
But you got to watch it, episode 1 through 6, and you have to know a little bit of, or I should say a lot of, or, whatever, the Last Airbender franchise. So, that being said, I think that the entire Last Airbender episodes, the entire season, was so well done, so very well done. It made you believe in the characters. There were so many. What do you call it when you look at stuff? The CGI, very on cue. It doesn't look cheap. And it's very, the way they interpreted it and comparatively so with the anime series, I think that it's very true to form, and makes you want for season 2,
which they have ordered. So
yes, and so
good for them.
I'm looking forward to it. If they don't do it, I'd be very upset.
Well, they're going to. And one more thing about episode 6 that it just as a whole, not only just episode 6, it was the last episode where, not a spoiler, this is in the show, the koi fish is killed. The moon spirit
Yes.
is killed.
Yes.
And then you see in the animated show, Aang take the form of the ocean spirit.
Yeah,
and
the vengeful.
And he becomes like one with the koi fish,
Yes.
like one with the spirit.
Vengeful.
Yes.
And I'm going to kill you kind of thing. Yeah.
To where in the animated show, it's like, oh, like once you watch it from start to finish, it's like, oh, he's got this possession. He's like for a limited time, and then he'll return.
More relaxed.
No. Oh no!
Yes.
And in this live action show, they explain that with the moon spirit like now dead, and Aang just gave himself up to this ocean spirit, that monstrous form's gonna go terrorize everybody.
On until something is redeemed. Basically, yes.
So imagine,
That's what
we were talking about. What ifs? We were talking about what ifs with the NFL.
Yeah.
Do a what if of the moon spirit's not resurrecting. You see that monster just devastate the Fire Nation.
Oh.
It's like, Fire Lord
I don't think you'd have
Ozai,
part two.
we have an issue at our front door. The moon spirit,
I don't see
the ocean koi is here to destroy us.
I don't see how you could possibly have a part two, because that monster was so powerful. I just don't see how you do it. That is back in that time.
So, closing thoughts on the show. Some of the things I did not expect to show up in the show. You have the owl, which you see in the spirit world. You don't see him technically until season 2.
I didn't know that, but
you have Azula, Zuko's sister, show up in this show relatively early than I thought she would. I thought she would pop up in season 2 like properly, like they would do. Like they showed her in the teaser at the end of season 1.
Yeah,
and they do that again with this live action show.
Well, they're gonna take artistic licenses, for whatever to move the story along.
So a whole lot of fans are saying with that Wan Shi Tong is the owl's name. He owns a spiritual library in the real world, supposedly in this lore. And some folks are wondering in the Last Airbender fandom is, how are you going to incorporate this in season 2 when Sokka, Katara, and Aang have now met this guy? To which, like, is he still going to be loathsome towards them? Like not mean spirited, but like sus over their arrival in his library. To which I would point out and say, hey, you meet someone on the street, right? And you're like, hey, you need directions? Okay, go down this way. No. Okay, nice knowing you.
Unless you're in
but if
St.
they
Louis.
show up in your house, unexpected, uninvited, then you're wondering, okay, why are you here?
No.
Maybe you tell them, get out. I didn't invite you here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, this is my house. What are you doing here?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I got it.
So
I don't know the answer to that, but
to which it's like he plays an important role because it's his library that reveals to Team Avatar and the whole world there's another solar eclipse coming.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Sozin's comet's
There's also
coming.
a comet coming.
But is there a way to defeat him before the comet comes, which we saw in season 3 in the animated show?
Let's see.
Are they going to do that same payoff with the library, or are they going to do a different element of revealing, hey, here's the solar eclipse coming, but it's not in the library?
Nah.
So,
No.
which, if you look up pictures online of that owl, there's some spooky, very spooky photos of that owl. And we're going to get to one more review before we get to Dune, and that is something we saw today. Kung Fu Panda 4. I almost said 3.
No, okay.
Really good. I'll just get my thoughts. I'll get my thoughts out of the way.
Go ahead.
I would say this is better than 3. It is not better than 2 and 1.
No. Yeah.
I would say, man, 1 and 2 are so equal on par. I have a hard time separating the two of which is better because they're both equally great. Yep. With Tai Lung, and then you have Lord Shen in the second one.
Yep.
Cool cameo fest that you see in the trailers and also in the movie of like, hey, here's these previous villains showing up. How are they here when they're dead?
Viola Davis or Nitamont?
like all the previous villains that are coming.
Oh yeah, all of them. Yeah. I got it.
Like
all his previously defeated enemies arrive in this movie. Got it.
So, what's the fox's name?
Jeez.
The actress.
Aquafina.
Aquafina. I liked her character. I liked her Zen is her character's name. I liked it. I liked it for what it was. Like kind of a young teenager-ish kind of vibe. Like lonesome in the streets. Someone picks you up. You're in that crew per se. Almost like Peter Quill with the Guardians. Like he was picked up by these Rough Riders, and he's like grown up and taught in their ways, so to speak.
I did not buy Aquafina's voice for that character. I mean, I did. I mean, I like Aquafina. I think she did a great job in the Shang-Chi and the what was it, 10 Rings or something like that.
Yeah,
I loved her character then. And she has played in a couple of other movies I loved, but not the voice of this character. And that's just me. That's 100% me. I thought someone, I don't know, someone on the lines of, who was the one that's in Dune 2, the lead female?
Zendaya.
I think someone like her voice, right, would have been so much better, in my opinion, for this character. But the storyline was great. Not just great. The storyline was good. Is it worth your admission? Yeah. I give it a 3 stars out of 5. I just don't. It's definitely not. Definitely not better than the first or second part.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Third, I give it kind of an equal thing.
You forgot about the third one.
But I never saw the third. What I'm saying with the third is that the third had the Fabulous Five. At least you had the whole cast of characters, I should say, in that movie. This one, you don't get that.
Yeah,
you get Panda,
and
you get this other character. That's it. Period. Her, which is Aquafina. And I don't buy her character's voice. Her character, I got it. I just think that it's more. When I was watching the movie, I was thinking, okay, so Panda 5 is going to go where? Because I think that Panda 5 is going to go somewhere. And I'm like, where are you going to go from this? It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like Rocky.
Where's
Rocky 5 sucked.
Where's Despicable Me 4 going?
Okay, well, I'm gonna say
you got these franchises where
I got it. But Rocky 5 sucked, but Rocky reinvented himself and became Rocky Balboa, and then
then Creed.
Creed, yes. I don't necessarily see Panda going that direction. I found myself falling asleep in the second part of the 3 parts. Second part of the movie, because I thought it was a snooze fest. The second part. First part, okay, got it. Second part, I was like, oh, really? And then third part, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. Let's go to it. Let's do it.
What are the parts what are redeemable parts would you say stood out? I liked the duo dad.
The duo dad.
Double dad action.
So am I. I thought that was kind of, I thought it was fun.
The real dad and the adopted dad.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun. I'm not sold on this movie.
I was so surprised that the Warriors 5, whatever they're called.
Fabulous 5.
They're not called that Fab.
I think they're Fab 5. Are they 5?
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of Michigan basketball team. I'm sorry. But anyway, there's the 5.
The Warriors 5, like the Warriors 5 or whatever they're called.
Fearsome 5, Fantastic 5.
Oh my God.
And look it up on your phone.
Movie.
Look it up on your phone. Or maybe somebody. There's absolutely nobody's watching us, so.
We got watchers. We got like
Hammer
20.
House last. He said definitely unexpected, and I'm sure that was like 2 hours ago.
Furious 5. Furious 5.
Furious 5. Here we go.
Yes, Furious 5.
That's what I'm gonna name my next band. Furious 5. Even if you have 3 people, I'm gonna call them Furious 5.
I was surprised they were not in the movie.
Yes, because I don't know why, but they were at the
But
end.
they were
Very
announced.
end.
But they were announced when
Credits.
they said this movie was coming out that they got the voice cast to come back.
No, who said that? I didn't. Hear
Yeah,
that.
the trades reported it.
I didn't
like
hear that.
they had Angelina Jolie, Jackie Chan, and the rest coming back. So something must have happened in post-script wise or post-edit where it's
I never heard that.
do we need
Jeremy
these
Johns
guys?
said there was no the Furious 5 in this movie. Apart from the final, what do you call it? The credits.
like Andrew Garfield was supposed to be in Madam Web, and they cut him out supposedly.
No, I got it. It's I give it a 3 out of 5. Good, but not great. Point blank. I mean, it's because you do Rocky 5 was 1, 2, 3, and 4 were 5 out of 5. But Rocky 5 was like a 1 out of 5. It comes a time where you take a formula and you abuse it to death, and then you got to change it, and hence Rocky Balboa, and then you go to Creed. You have to reinvent yourself in order to stay relevant at the box office, and Panda 4 has not reinvented itself enough to say, yeah, good. It's good. I mean, yeah, great. It's good, but not great at all. Again, 3 out of 5.
You look at the previous DreamWorks entries; they're doing much better than Disney. So
I don't care.
I just attribute this movie to like your production, like your quality has not dipped into boredom. You have never gotten into the political realm of political messaging.
Yes.
For your animated movies, Disney, take a hint. And also, like folks flock to the box office for their movies. Except for the last one, which was.
But you have to separate that from an actual standalone.
And they haven't done
movie.
they haven't done a kung fu movie since 2019.
I got it.
So,
but standalone movie. You can't say this is more than 3 out of 5 stars. You can't say that. You can't.
on a scale, if I had to do a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 6.
Okay, that's a 3 out of 5.
Which is good. Could have been better, but it's not bad.
That's
it's
what
watchable.
I said. It's good.
It's
not
watchable.
great.
Yeah.
It's good. Not great.
Does it get a second viewing? I say it
No.
does. It does.
What?
It does.
You watch it once, you're good.
Do a double feature with Dune.
Why the hell would
Yeah.
you watch it a second time? What are you going to learn on the second movie viewing?
I caught it the first time, but folks are not going to know what that at the end there. It's
No.
like, hey, there's like a little fig tree coming out of the ground. No, if you watch the first one, that's the
watch
one where
Dune 2 for a second time? Got it. But this one for a second time, you're just wasting money. You just want popcorn and a drink. That's all you
want popcorn to drink.
Yes, I love popcorn. If it has actual dual butter, which no movie theater does. You tell them, hey, can you layer the butter on the popcorn? Yeah, we got it.
They layered it for you today.
No, bullcrap. They'll take the first layer and you go, and that's it. And then they'll fill it up with popcorn and they'll go. So the top layer has got a lot of popcorn, butter. But the bottom layer, zero. So 15 minutes, love popcorn. Outside of that, no popcorn. No popcorn butter. I hate that. Anyway, what I'm saying is, this movie is
I think DreamWorks
not that movie you
yeah.
want to see a second time.
I think DreamWorks can notch this movie as yet another movie in a row where Disney is still slumping when they're their main
I would
competition.
agree with that.
So
I would
they
agree
can
with
put that they can put this movie another feather in their cap of we're delivering to our audience. We know what they want to come and watch. We're not going to give them something where they're not going to come out and watch.
Your 10-year-olds and below will absolutely love this movie.
And folks like us will understand.
But
the
your
tones of the
adults
movie.
will look at it and say, yeah, good movie, but not great. Not great. I'm not going to spend my money on this again. I'm not going to buy the DVD. I'm not going to watch it again on streaming. It's just good, but not great.
What do you think of that trailer for The Wild Robot? DreamWorks' next
That
entry?
looked interesting. It looked very interesting. I was when we first starting watching it, I was thinking it was more or less one of those tree hugger kind of.
Did it have like? Did you feel?
thing.
Did you feel the Iron Giant kind of vibes coming up?
I did. I really did. But I didn't. I was thinking more it was going to be...
Or WALL-E. Those are the two comparisons folks are saying online.
Kind of a... So
you got WALL-E and the Iron Giant vibes.
Iron Giant wasn't so much of a tree hugger thing. WALL-E was definitely a tree hugger thing.
Still a good movie.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I just... When there's a political tone, I automatically...
You understand the messaging, yeah.
What
they're trying to get across.
Let me speak. What I'm saying is, when I hear or watch a movie and I see or feel some sort of political bent towards a movie, in my brain, my human brain, automatically assumes it out. I mean, it just I don't want to deal with it. That was WALL-E. I loved WALL-E up until I figured out, oh my God.
Until you see the humans,
they're talking about Earth and talking about, this, that, and the other. Like we could, change global warming. It's not. It's global warming happens. It's cyclical. Humans can't change it. Now, do we not take care of ourselves in this Earth? And yes, we do. But we've had, I think, 2 other ice ages. I'm pretty sure.
And Memphis just had one last year.
There was no cars or people of matter during those 2 ice ages. So it's not people that are attributing to any sort of global climate change. It is cyclical. It's going to happen regardless of what you say or do. And so to charge me $8 million per year to reverse global warming or climate change is ridiculous, and it's just you trying to get money out of my pocket. So it's political. So anytime I see a cartoon, an actual movie, or anybody give a speech about climate change and how we can affect its change, there's absolutely no way I'm paying attention to you, because you cannot change what's going on a global level that's been happening for, I don't know, thousands of years. Absolutely no way. And for you to pretend that you can, you are a liar. Absolutely a liar and a thief. And so I will not pay attention to you, period. And that includes cartoons, Disney or otherwise. I will not pay attention to it.
So bottom line, you're not going to watch you're not interested in watching
I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe. Initially I did, but watching it, I don't know. I didn't get at the end. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not. But I got to look at more reviews and stuff like that to see what are you talking about. Because you're saying humans are bad and we're going to destroy the planet because of humans, then I'm not going to watch it. Because it's not because of humans. It's because it's, the Earth, it goes through cycles, and if you can't keep up as a human species, then guess what? Just like the dinosaurs, you get erased. So adapt. Do it. God has said, hey, the oceans are coming in at 0.3 inches per year. 0.3. Guess what? Don't buy a freaking house on the beach. But who's buying houses on the beach? Well, I'll tell you, the elitists who say global warming is for real. But they're the ones buying the houses, and preach to us, global warming is going to destroy more. Look, tell me, where we cannot change what is cyclical. And for you to put out a cartoon, animated feature, or any other kind of film, for me, I'm like, not believing it.
So do you feel better that the makers, the writers and the directors of How to Train Your Dragon are the ones doing this? I trust them.
Is that the same ones?
Yes.
I like all the How to Train Your Dragon.
And they also had influence on Lilo and Stitch.
No, I
by the way.
I love Lilo and Stitch. I didn't watch, but I watched all the How to Train Your Dragon films. I loved them. I really did. Absolutely. But there was no
messaging.
People bad, earth good kind of feel. It was all about.
It
was all about how to treat people.
They have nothing to worry about.
It was all how to treat people. It was like, these dragons aren't bad. I mean, you misunderstood these dragons, right? They're just trying to live, right? And you're trying to kill them. This kind of thing. I mean, you could equate that to, civil rights in the 60s, But when you start equating it to life on Earth and how you could change Earth's atmosphere, you can't. So, anyway, I didn't equate that to Earth, Mother Earth, tree huggers, whatever. I equated it to treating everyone fairly, which I love. I think, you shouldn't judge a person by their skin. You shouldn't judge a person by where they go to school, how much money they earn, where they live, who their parents are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what How to Train Your Dragon, I think, taught you.
Yeah. So just, again, I'll reiterate to you. So you have nothing to worry about then for the Wild Robot.
I don't know.
Again,
have you seen it?
Because the filmmakers have shown you through 3 movies. The studio has shown you through all their movies, to my understanding, is that there's none of that like in your face like you bad and none of that.
All for it.
So
I'll watch it. I'll go spend money to see it.
They do the simple thing that we want movie studios to do:
entertain me,
entertain us, give us good quality movies.
Yes. Take me somewhere I've never been before. Like an Avatar.
This is based off a beloved children's book.
No, I got it. No, I got it. But like an Avatar, or like the Titanic, or maybe you name any number of movies. Take me away from where I am now. Take me away to a new point in time or to something else. And so I can be absorbed by what you're selling, what you're telling me. And then I can say, yeah, that's good. I mean, it could be a shoot 'em up. It could be a romance, rom-com. It could be just like I said, an Avatar, a Star Wars, something of that nature. Just don't be political. So here's another question. We've got the movie coming out, Civil War, which would be an awesome podcast in and of itself. I think if Civil War is to be popular and relevant, it needs to be apolitical. You can't say in the movie, Democrats, Biden good, MAGA, Trump bad, or vice versa. You can't say that. You can't say that and be a redeemable movie. You have to say people are disagreeing regardless of their political faction, and because of that, then we're fighting. If they stick to that, I'm good, right? I don't want to see a movie that's political. I don't. I have that enough on the news. I have that enough in my voting booth. I have that enough when I drive down the street, when I talk to my neighbors. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sorry. I go to sports. I go to movies to escape from that. Give me entertainment. That's what I think most of the American public want. Entertain me.
Yeah. And we will finally close this last, can I get that up? Topic of what has been a long night. A long night.
That's a lot of information.
A long night with you, my friend.
Did you ask for it?
And I didn't ask for it to go down on these long rabbit holes. That's the size of worms in these movies.
You asked me the questions, and I gave you answers.
You know what? Yeah, we went down the wormholes of Dune with your
love Dune. I absolutely loved it.
With your
Part 2.
shenanigans and your talking. We went down the dirt wormholes.
Yes.
So before you start, and I hope you keep it brief.
Yeah, before you take up all my airtime, let me start. That's what you meant to say.
Yeah. So
this is a 3-hour show. No one's going to watch a 3-hour show, and I guess you're going to cut out all of my responses to cut it to an hour and a half.
No. So Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Dune Part 1. So long, and they quickly summarize 2.5+ hours and the first 6 minutes of this movie, which I could have had 2 years ago when the first movie came out. And if you want to do a prequel, to part 2, which is what we got, then okay, that's totally fine. Have like a Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes, whatever that title was. I keep, that's a long title. Like, if you want to do that years later, okay, that's fine. Like it'll be a nice little
Ballad of the Sandworms.
Dune Part 2. There's nothing you can say that's not. That isn't positive. There's nothing you can say that isn't positive outside of maybe the runtime.
What would you say to someone who's not seen it?
To someone who's not seen it, if you can bear through 2.5 hours of setup,
bear through. No.
2.5 hours of setup.
That's not the way you say it.
Of setup.
It's not the way you say it.
Then watch it.
If you have, you say, look, 2.5 hours of awesomeness will be well worth your life.
For the first one?
No, the second one. What are you talking about? I'm not talking about the first one. I'm talking about saying part 2.
I'm on the subject of the first one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's revise.
If you can bear 2.5 plus hours of setup. But it wasn't
a bear like it was a burden. The first one was good too.
I felt intimidated that way when I'm watching the first one. I'm like, I have no idea what this is about outside of a few lines from the old Dune movies, which folks mock. It's like, put your hand in the box. What's in the box? Pain. It's like a running joke.
You attended my retirement ceremony, right?
Yeah.
For the Navy.
What about
Did I not use a line out of Dune?
I have to rewatch it now.
I'm not going to tell you what it is then. Oh my!
I have to rewatch it now because we've seen both Dune movies, so I have to look out for the
very first, I think, words out of my mouth came from the opening. Like when you watch a movie and there's like words on the screen. In the beginning, there was blah blah blah. There was a line on there for the first Dune, and I think it was the original Dune, not like the Dune that came out 2 years ago. I'm talking about the one that came out in the 80s.
I wouldn't know.
But anyway, it had a meaning toward a sailor going towards retirement or absent of sailing, so to speak. And so, but I've read the books, right, for Dune. I've seen the a movie in the 80s. I think it was the 80s.
Yeah.
6, I guess it was. Saw that. Thought it was good, right? I didn't see any other movies other than that. But I saw the first movie, and I was left Dune Part 1, the recent one that came out, it was 21.
Yeah.
I was left with... You want to end it there? Really? Because I thought it was like, really? Because it's not like you left it on a cliffhanger. It was like...
It was a cliffhanger. Stop that.
No, it wasn't. It was left empty.
This was Spider-Verse worthy cliffhanger.
It was...
hanging,
to me, it was left empty. It was like...
Infinity War cliffhanger.
To me, it was empty. Like, we're starting this new thing, but then you start it and then stop. And then like... What? I mean, I got it. It's the ultimate cliffhanger. Gets you coming back. It's perfect marketing. I got it. So, okay, got it. But I thought that, I don't want to skip ahead. I just want to let you know, the first Dune movie I thought was well done. Denis Villeneuve. Villeneuve. I think, he did so many movies that...
We were listening to the John Campea show the other day, and they were listening off... A whole bunch of
movies.
Arrival.
Loved Arrival.
One of my favorites with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. Prisoners.
Yes, Prisoners. That's a great movie. It's just he directs movies, right, that require you to actually involve your mind. You know, and I take, what was the other movie? The first one you mentioned, not the Prisoners. Not the Prisoners. The other
Arrival.
So it requires.
Oh my God! Yeah.
If you were to watch. How many times have you watched that movie?
I've seen it twice. I don't plan on watching it again unless I see you watching it in the living room.
So you have to watch The Arrival at least twice. But I would say to fully understand and appreciate it 3 times. I've seen it 4 times. And I know how it ends. I know the questions to ask myself based on, I saw it once. What do I ask? I come back with, oh my gosh, it's not that you didn't see it, it's that you saw it coming and that the director knew it was coming and yet established some sort of storyline that challenged it, that met it. That it's just you have to watch it to understand. And if you haven't seen The Arrival, please watch it, right? And then after you watch it a second time. It'll open up so many things to you. And then watch it a third time. That's the movies he's created. I can watch Dune a second time. I can watch Dune the second part definitely a second time.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of his movies are that you can watch 1, 2, 3 times and just kind of get nuggets. So the first time you watch it, you know how it ends. So second time you watch it, oh, hold on a second, I know how it ends, but I didn't catch that. And the third time, you're like, oh, I didn't catch that either. That's what I'm saying. He puts things in movies. I don't know how. It's amazing. It's genius. It's kind of like a Stephen King novel where you can read something and say, oh, I didn't recognize that. It's kind of like the Bible. You're like, wait a minute. I've been reading the Bible for 20 years. I didn't see that. Denis, he puts things in movies that you didn't appreciate or acknowledge before. You know what I mean? And he takes artistic license to separate himself from the novel.
Yeah.
And very specific, high-profile items or issues in the book compared to the movie. Mm-hmm. And what do you think about? I mean, I know you didn't read the book, but I'm saying, have you read about that?
From what I've heard, what's in the book compared to what's in the final cut of the movie, I find it hard to imagine different scenarios in the movie compared to what I saw, because it's just we were talking about like Jesus moments where he survives like the worm juice that he drinks. Yeah. And then he has his Jesus moments in front of all of it. Probably the best scene in the movie theaters. And like, I wish we were in a full crowd when he starts speaking out loud. Yeah. Like Infinity War Endgame kind of packed theater. I got it. Yeah. It's like the guy's like, you must speak. In order for you to speak, you must kill me. It's like, I am the one that makes the rules here. It's you. It's so godlike. It's so Messiah-like almost, right? And he had like a Jesus moment where it's like, I could take all of you at once, and everyone's like, okay. And then he rolls up to one of them. It's like, breaks him down. It's like, so my question becomes everything about me. Yeah. No, I gotcha. After reading the books, right, and watching the first original movie in the 80s, Paul, do you think at the end of this movie, without giving any spoilers away, do you think Paul is a good guy or a bad guy? Come on. Give it to me. I want to say he's a good guy because I want to say yes, but because he does. I hear a but. Because at the end of the movie, like he says, send out word that I have like. He doesn't sound like this, but he's essentially the emperor now. He's like, send out word. I have taken back over my house. I am alive. Yeah. And ceasefire, essentially. No spoilers, but got it. And then they're like, sir, they have received the message. They are not complying with you. And? To which, at the end, he says, oh yeah, I think he says something along the lines like, go bring forth paradise. Who? Paul Atreides, I think. Paul Atreides is the main character. Yeah, he says that. Timothy Chalamet, yeah, who he plays. He's like he tells like the Spice Rebel, whoever his name was, is like, go bring forth paradise to these other houses and whatnot. To where he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, you're not going to have a sit down. You're not going to say, hey, leaders of your house, come on down. Let's have a talk.
Do you know what groupthink is?
Everyone thinks the same.
Yeah, that's what it is. Groupthink is normally it's set. It's the thought process is set up by the most senior leadership. It could be the most senior leadership, whether it be the president of the United States, or president of the company, or the leader of your division, whatever. And they say, "Hey, this is how it's going to be, or supposed to be," right? And then the people below them support the vision. Now I got it. There is. Hey, we heard it in church today. Hey, you speak it into existence, and I don't mean speak impossibilities to exist. You speak to your mountains in the name of Jesus. It's you and God, you and your situation. But when it comes to situations involving technology and things of that nature, where you say, I think of Thiokol. Thiokol from Maryland. You and I lived in Maryland, not Northeast. Where we live in? We lived in Maryland. It was called not Northeast, and you're not going to help me out. Anyway, close to Northeast Maryland. Thiokol was based there. Thiokol was the company or corporation that built the seals for the Space Shuttle Columbia, okay, which blew up upon launching, right? Killed, I think it was 4 or 5 astronauts. God bless their souls. But the reason why it blew up is because the engineers that built those seals that expanded and ultimately led to the explosion of the aircraft was because they didn't want to be derogatory. They didn't want to say it's not going to work, right? So you have to be that person that says it's not going to work. You see what I'm saying? So oh my God, I was going somewhere with this. Dune. Oh my God, I'm sorry. You got to edit this out because I was going towards a point and I can't remember what that point was. What was your point, Josh? Come on, Josh, help me out.
What's the point? Is Dune 2 one of the best sci-fi movies ever made in Hollywood? Arguably. Is it the next Star Wars?
Yes.
Of this generation?
Yes. Dune is Dune Part 2. Based on it's extreme size, the sound, right? The music. Who was the music guy? Was it Jan Hammer? Hans Zimmer?
Again, yeah.
Bro.
Another masterpiece.
Man, he was been involved since, oh my gosh. Since,
he did The Lion King, yeah.
Since 1980, Miami Vice. It's awesome. So Hans Zimmer with the soundtrack, awesome. I mean, I didn't think that the soundtrack would even keep up with technology. I thought it was going to blow out the speakers, right? Kind of like... what was the movie last year with the nuclear bomb?
Oppenheimer.
I thought there's no way these speakers are keeping up. But on a realistic sense, this movie, I mean, I didn't see anywhere where the CGI didn't keep up, the acting didn't keep up, the sound didn't keep up, the directing, the writing. I mean, 5 out of 5. I mean, there was absolutely no shortcoming in this film whatsoever. So yes, in today's society, you could view this as 100% the best sci-fi. And I would compare it to Star Wars back in 76. I think it was when it came out. I think it was 76. At that time, Star Wars was the best based on the current technology presented, et cetera, et cetera. And it has lasted almost 50 years. And I think this film, so in the next, 2073, 2074, will we be talking about, you'll be 80 something years, I'll be dead. You'll be 80 something years old, right? Will we be talking about this movie when you are 80 plus years of age?
I think this particular movie, first off, if they knock it out of the park with Dune Messiah for the third movie.
Okay,
I
so
think that's going to be...
Time out. I gotta know, because I am not... I am the ordinary viewer, not the guys you... Messiah, I have never heard that.
It's the next book of the Dune books.
I didn't read that book.
I think if that's knocked out of the park like Dune Part 2,
yeah,
they call it Dune Part 3 or Dune Messiah.
Yeah, I got it.
Whatever they call it. You're going to have a trilogy of unbelievable films that some might say might be the best trilogy of films ever, in my opinion.
You're talking about Dune 1, 2, and 3, Messiah included, right?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
I would imagine we are talking about this because look what this movie did under $200 million. You would think this film cost $250 million to make. So,
but how would you compare it
teaches
to
us
Star Wars, right? Revenge of the Jedi, right? Empire Strikes Back and the Revenge of the Jedi. How would you compare those first three to Dune 1, 2, and the Messiah? I mean, you haven't seen the Messiah.
Dune 2 does play like an Empire Strikes Back kind of movie. It does.
So that assumes that Paul is a bad guy. You said Paul was a good guy.
Because it's an open-ended movie, right?
That was my first point that I forgot. So Paul is potentially a bad guy because he started out as a good guy. I don't want it. Right? I don't want to be, what do you call him? The Messiah, basically, what they're saying. Yeah. Their deliverer. I don't want it. But then he twisted it and said, not that I want it, but I'll accept it, and, right, moved on to, hey, I'm going to love you forever, talking to his girl. And then less than 2 minutes later, turning to another lady, another person talking about another lady, saying she's going to be my wife, basically.
I took that as
he's a bad guy.
I take that not as him being the villain. That's more like that's more like
it's political.
It's political. It's royalty,
but it's bad. He's bad. I'm telling you, he's taking it. Okay, hold on. Hunger Games.
No. Think Last Kingdom. Think Last Kingdom with this stuff, man.
Listen. Hunger Games.
From Netflix.
Hunger Games, Part 4, the last movie of Hunger Games. President Coin.
I haven't seen that movie. I don't know why. I watched Part 1 of Mockingjay, and I'm like, I can't wait to see the second one. And for some reason, I never got around to.
So the final movie, the last,
I know some
Part
key
4.
Points. I know some key points. Yeah.
All right. So President Coin, right, is the leader of the rebellion.
The resistance, yeah.
Right, the resistance, who becomes, in Part 4, without giving up too much, the leader of Pan Am, which is, the entire world, right, basically. Right.
The capital, yeah.
She, which is a female, wants to revert, instead of saying, I want to do away with the Hunger Games because it's evil, and because it requires innocent people to die, et cetera, right? She wants to reinstitute the Hunger Games. Okay? And so, how does the Mockingjay,
Katniss
Everdeen respond to that? That's the whole premise of the movie, right? And so that's what I say for this, is Paul Atreides, who was essentially the Mockingjay, really, for the don't know what you call that earth, the sand earth, whatever it is.
The spice earth, yeah.
The spice earth, which has all the power because of spice, right? So he has all the power based on he's a Messiah now, essentially, right? Because of his mother, because of all this.
Who has a crazy talking baby in her stomach, by the way?
But I think that leads to part 3. I think that, I think she gives birth. In part 3, it becomes where she, I haven't read the books past the initial book, so I don't know how,
His sister is alive in the books, though.
So I don't know if she's going to be that kind of person that's going to say, hey, Paul Atreides, you're wrong or whatever, but I love you. And he's like, no, you're wrong and I love you. And they're going to cross the line, and she's going to ultimately defeat him because she's basically been from time of conception, a super power, if you will. I don't know how to describe it. So what I'm saying is Paul Atreides, I think, is not a good person. Did he deliver people? Yes, 100%. But absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And that's not my statement. That is the statement of, I can't remember who it is, but it's not mine. So don't think I'm attributing to me. It's somebody else's, and I can't remember who it is. But absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Paul Atreides is being corrupted by absolute power. Regardless of his great intentions, I get it. It would not go well for anyone.
You know what? I take that back. This wasn't like the end, like at least the ending of the movie. It wasn't Empire Strikes Back. It was Attack of the Clones, where you have this army. Yes, you have. You need a refresher of a memory.
I didn't take it.
So you have the Confederate droids back, essentially back a big opposing army with Count Dooku and the Dark Lord Sidious.
Yes.
And then you have, look, the Republic and Jedi have these clone troopers now. Let's go to war. And they gave absolute...
But the clones were supposed to be good, right?
And they gave absolute power to the Supreme Chancellor when he wasn't supposed to have.
How did that go?
All that's absolute power, to where Yoda says, like, this is not victory, Obi-Wan. The shroud of the dark side has fallen. Begun, the Clone Wars have. And thus we have long Clone Wars, the show, what happens with them, and then ultimately how that ends in Revenge of the Sith.
Let me ask you this question.
The same thing happens at the end of Dune Part 2, where it's like the wars among the houses have begun, essentially.
Absolute power, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. In the history of known mankind, where has one person been established with absolute power that has not been ruined or has not been
I know, I got my answer.
Not been adulterated. One person had absolute power and they didn't use it to their own benefit to ruin anyone else. Where has that one person been? That's what throughout known human history.
I can give you one off the top of my head.
Please do.
George Washington.
George Washington.
They wanted to give him all that absolute power. He had it initially.
That's a respectable 100%.
And then once the war
I wasn't even
over
thinking of
the
that.
British,
I got it. Yes.
He said, you know what? The president should not be a king. The president should be the president.
You are 100% correct. No, hey, I got it. I was thinking more along the lines of Jesus, but okay.
You're saying human history. Jesus is...
Well, he was human.
He came in human form, but he's
human.
Hello,
he died. He died a human death. But anyway, I agree 100% with what you said. And I think based on your thinking that yes, there are a few.
That's the only one I can come up with. No, it's hard to think of anyone else.
But you're 100% correct. I wasn't even thinking of that because they were thinking,
wow, you're the patriot.
The Continental Congress is thinking, hey, George Washington, you've won excellent. And hey, George Washington early on lost a lot of battles, lost a lot of people. And that's why he said, I don't want to be the leader because I'm not that guy. It's similar to me. I would say, I don't want that job. Are you kidding me? No, absolutely no way. But he said that, and they said, no, you're it, or somebody else is it, who's less than you. Then he was, I think, on a lesser extent, I would say, yeah, I got it. If you're going to hire somebody who's going to be lesser than me, then maybe I'm the best person, but I'm not the best person. I think that's how George Washington thought. That's a great example, Josh. I didn't even think about that. I really didn't.
I am.
Was he perfect?
Hey, this proves that my Mason Rudolph takes are not dumb.
Stop it. Anyway, Mason Rudolph to George Washington? Is that what
I'm saying my opinions are not
Rudolph Washington.
Hey, I'm saying my opinions on things are not far-fetched.
No, I've never said that. I didn't say
you did.
No, I said
you're saying it's far-fetched that Malik Willis can
Rudolph were far-fetched.
Mason Rudolph.
I said Mason Rudolph. If you're going to compare him to George Washington,
no,
that
I'm
is you on air saying players. Mason Rudolph is the same as George Washington.
No, I'm not.
But that was a good point. George Washington didn't want to be elected, or selected, I should say, as the President of the United States. But he chose it because he felt it he was duty bound. And back in that day, if you were elected to or selected to a public office, it was for a moment in time, i.e. 2 or 4 years at most, and then you go back to your home life
and do what you were doing. Yeah.
Because you passed orders or laws, if you were to say, I'm gonna agree to a law that says I'm gonna agree to a 2-cent tax on all wheat coming out of the United States, or into whatever. Then you got to go back to your farm, and if you're a wheat farmer, then you have to live under those laws. So that's the whole point. Congress, representatives, senators were never, ever meant to make a living doing such. They were meant to do it for a period of time, 6 years, maybe 12 years max. But then you got to go back and live under the laws that you established and passed. That's the whole point. But now we have, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50-year politicians that have lived off the government dime. And it's not the government. They don't make money. Who makes the money? Let me guess. Hold on a second.
The Spice People.
Yeah, Spice. I got it. It's us. We're taxpayers.
Yeah.
They're the ones who pay the politicians who have never held a job, an honest-to-goodness working job in their entire lives. They literally work for us. And I think we have failed to understand it because we don't have civics in the courses of junior high or high school. We have failed to hold those people accountable, et cetera, et cetera. So I think Paul Atreides needs to come to account for the things that he has done, even though he did it for what he thought was the benefit of the people.
The greater good.
I think he did it just like Chani, his love interest, Zendaya, right? Zendaya.
Yeah. That's the actress, yeah.
I think it's Johnny. Johnny is her name. Anyway, she was like...
Johnny, yeah.
She was like, you are not doing this for you. Not doing this for... You were doing it for you. Mm-hmm. And she was like, she didn't like him being in charge because he wasn't...
One of them.
What do you call them? Desert people. I can't remember their name. Anyway, he wasn't one of them. Now, he became one of them based on how he performed and what he did. But by birthright, but by experience, he couldn't. He's
shown the signs. He's the Messiah.
Yes, he dresses like one of us. But she's saying, I was born into this. I lived this. I've been this for the last 20, whatever I was, she is, 25 years, 30 years. He
just got here.
He just got here a year ago, if that, right? now he's the Messiah. I don't understand it, right? And so I understand that so I think Paul is a bad guy at the end. Initially, good guy. But I think when he gave that speech in the cave, where old boy told Zendaya to, he grabbed her and said, come down. All of my people that I know have been killed by the enemy. And so he's trying to kill them. I'm for him. Basically is what he's telling her.
The lesser two evils, yes.
And so she was like, okay, got it. But she didn't agree with it necessarily. But at the end,
I took that to being like him saying to her, like, you really want to oppose him now? Wait till afterwards because we have a common enemy. This is the lesser of two evils.
I didn't take it that way. I took it as in he was legitimately upset that his loved ones, family, friends, co-fighters were killed
by the Baron, yeah.
By the Baron. Then if Paul Atreides wants to kill those folks, I'm all for him, right? I don't care what comes afterwards. We'll deal with that afterwards. But right now, I'm all for him. And he was like, stand down. I've had so many people killed because of the Harkonnens, right? Mm-hmm. I don't need you to interfere talking about, racial injustice or whatever the case may be.
Is this pure? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think Paul took that from that moment, right, and said, I'm the man. Right, wrong, or indifferent. He became the evil guy because he took it to the extent of, I'm going to kill everybody who doesn't subjugate themselves to me.
I think it also shows a different, unique side where maybe this will blow your mind, or you probably be like, oh, it means nothing. Where possibly we see throughout the first movie and in this last one, Paul has these visions. Yeah. He doesn't know what they are. His mother tells him, eat this, drink this worm juice and your visions will be complete.
Yes.
And to which he saw the visions completed.
Yes.
And thus, no matter how different he wanted to go, like he didn't want to go to that place.
Yes.
But ultimately he's like, you know what? There's no other way.
There's no other alternative.
There's no alternative. I have to go. And then he drinks the juice, he survives, and then he sees the fullness of his visions and possibly seeing that his mother has a role to play in part 3 that he cannot escape. Like there's no escaping these visions, so he might as well just carry out through what he's seeing. With the baby, with Florence Pugh's princess.
Which is a baby.
No. That's Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'm talking about Florence. The girl that you see writing the diary that he wants to marry. That's the emperor's daughter.
Yeah,
he probably sees that vision of her.
I gotcha.
So he's probably in the mindset of like, this is unescapable.
So
this is unescapable.
Yeah.
So I have to do this.
This is separate from I'm going to love you regardless.
Yeah.
Talking about Zendaya. And then he turns
Florence Pugh,
to the other girl and says, I'm going to take her hand in marriage. Basically,
so we can unite
the alliance.
Yeah, the alliance.
Yes,
and
she's like, and the whole audience was like, I mean, literally. I mean,
even though it was in the book, but yes.
What? I can imagine people like, oh no, you didn't. I mean, I'm telling you, that was so cold.
Even though it was in the book, but yeah,
but still, so cold. Anyway.
But yeah, what do you think about that? Where he sees, like, you see a like numbers, whatever that movie was with Nicolas Cage. Like he sees the numbers, he sees like
knowing. I love that movie.
Like he sees the numbers and the coordinates is like it's the coordinates and people
3 or 5 or 20 seconds, whatever in the future.
Yeah, he can see the future and what's the death count. He tries to prevent it.
Yes.
He can't, and then he realizes, you know what? This is unpreventable.
Well, he realizes without her, his love interest, he can't see further than like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever it is. By himself, he can see, I can see what it is 15, 20 seconds in the future, blah, 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 right? But with her, I can see days into the future. So,
are we talking about knowing or Dune?
Knowing with Nicolas Cage. Yeah, that's because the whole movie was 15, 20 seconds in the future, but when he got with her, he could see so much further into the future. And so you learn at the end of the movie that the whole movie was him seeing that far into the future.
I think we're talking about a whole different movie. Nicolas Cage gets like this, like he gets like these numbers from like this time capsule.
Oh, well, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You
And
gotta
then-
edit this
and then-
out because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Time capsule.
It shows this girl like writing down numbers and whatnot, and then they open this time capsule years later.
Oh, no. I got it. That's not knowing. Oh, what is that movie? Okay, so go on.
It probably is called
We'll
Knowing.
look it up. No, it's not.
I'm looking that up right now.
Oh, my God. There's nobody watching us by now. So.
The beauties of being live, and we are not editing this out because this is
No.
authentic.
There's nobody watching us now, so it's not a big deal. I don't think so. Let's see.
Nicolas Cage. I think it's called. Yeah, Knowing. That's what it's called.
Is that the one with the girl who scratched on the wall and
For her,
the end
for her,
is the end of the world for him with
yeah,
the
and
aliens?
then the two children are taken like to this new Eden.
Well, yeah, they're
the end
the
of it.
aliens. Yeah, okay, got
Yeah,
it.
are they angels or are they aliens?
What was
yeah,
I thinking? There was another
I
movie
have
with him.
no
There
idea.
was no, but there was another movie with him. He could think, a couple like 10 seconds into the future, but when he met this woman, he could see like literally like days into the future.
Are you talking about like Deja Vu
No, it's not deja vu, man. It's
with Denzel? With Denzel?
You're gonna. I mean, we've already gone over 4 hours, so you're saying, "Ain't no way, no one's watching it." So, let's see. Let's do. No, come on.
Anyways,
go ahead.
Just to wrap this up, like
Wrap it up. Okay.
like, that's the whole point of Nicolas Cage's movie. Like he sees this paper, he
Yes.
sees these, he writes out these numbers, and he figures out what they are:
Yes.
time, date, location, casualty date, like amount of casualties that people are gonna die.
Yes, he does.
So Paul Atreides, I would argue with you, is shown he drinks the juice, and he's shown into the future. This is unescapable. No matter what you do, no matter how far you run, you cannot outrun what's coming for the Spice people, what's coming for his mother, what he's going to do ultimately. So he ultimately does because he's seen it happen. And if he were to refuse, like her hand in marriage, it would eventually lead down to his worst fear, that he's been seeing in his visions. Like it's unescapable. It's
Yes.
gonna
I got it.
happen one way or another.
I got it. I'm just trying to look.
Is your
up
mind
this-
changed?
Next
Is,
the film that he sees into the future.
is your mind changed after
Next.
my?
I saw that wolf chase. I'm sorry.
Is your mind changed after what I just described?
No,
to you?
I 100% agree with what you're saying. I really do. I mean, you could take it so many different ways with this. That's the whole beauty of this film franchise. I mean, you could read the books and say, well, the books say this. Stephen King novel says, X person dies. This is how the movie ends, or the book ends, blah, 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 right? And then the movie director maybe takes it a different direction, but ultimately that's where they die. So, but with this, Denis kind of took a little artistic license to say, I got it where we're going to ultimately, but I'm going to go a different direction. I'm not going to go here, bam, straight to, whatever, the end. I'm going to go over here, bam, like when Paul Atreides killed a certain someone whom no one thought was what? He's what? I didn't
The Baron,
see.
yeah.
That was not in the book.
Yeah.
Right? But it was great artistic licensing. Those types of things. So I just Dune Part 2 had it was on a cinematical scale, on a sound scale, right? On every scale imaginable. Dune Part 2 to me is on a level that exceeds Star Wars from 1976 at that level. Not that it's better than the cinematography and all that, because it is. It's just because of technology. I'm talking about compare technology at that time with Star Wars and the storyline, right? Compared to Dune 2 and our technology and storyline. I think this Dune 2 will be looked at most likely better than Star Wars Part 1, 2, or 3 because of its grand scale, because of everything, the acting, the sound stage, the CGI, everything. Now I got CGI you can't compare with Star Wars because they didn't have that technology. I'm just telling you.
Here's the advantage Dune has over Star Wars. It came first. The books came first before the Star Wars movie was ever made. And George Lucas is on record for taking inspirations from the Dune novels.
Yes. But you have to I mean, we're talking about 30, 40, even 50 years, right? From conception, right? Star Wars in the 70s compared to now. So that has to tell you a lot about Star Wars back in the 70s. I mean, Star Wars back in the 70s was absolutely mind-blowing on every account, right? That we're actually comparing a 70s movie to something that was created 50 years later. I mean, that is incredible. But I would agree. Dune Part 2 beats that. 1-to-1 based on all things accounted for. Dune Part 2 beats any Star Wars, especially Star Wars. The first 3 parts. Or I should say, not the first 3 parts. Parts 4, 5, and 6. I should say.
The original Star Wars movies.
Yes.
All right. We are going to wrap this up.
We're not going to talk about Nashville Predators or anything?
No.
Because you have Smash on your helmet.
It's Smash for Nashville, not
Nashville Predators and
not Predators related.
It's Smashville. What do you think that is?
Nashville.
Okay, thank you. The Predators. Thank you.
It doesn't say Predators on my hat. So.
It's Smashville. That's what it is. What?
I know what you're talking about.
Nashville Predators. Hoorah. You guys aren't exactly.
There's nothing on here that says Predators,
challenging for the best of the best, but I support you. I don't know about him. He's got a Smash hat.
There's nothing Predators on my hat. On my head.
That is.
It does not say Predators. I just looked inside the head. There's no P. There's no sign of NashvillePredators.org.
Don't wear it then. He's not going to wear it because he doesn't support the Predators.
It's still.
And there we go. It's right
dangling on the edge of the table.
Hey, you don't want to support Nashville Predators, then don't wear
They're good from
Don't wear the hat. Looks good on you, but don't wear the hat.
I'm wearing the hat because of what's about to come up at the church, which I can't say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hello, Easter egg.
Yeah.
Oh, coming up on Easter too. Easter egg.
Yeah.
You can't say that though.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't say it. You can't say it.
But you're excited though.
I am.
You're very excited.
I really am.
So
because I'm a huge Nashville guy. I'm a huge Tennessee guy, but I love Nashville, even though it's incredible. Hello, politician in Nashville, lower the housing costs, please. Jeez.
Yeah. All right. It's been a long,
It's been a long 3 hours.
This is a long 4 hours almost.
Is it 4 hours? No way.
3 hours and 55 minutes. Jeez, man.
So you're going to be a post for like a day.
No. This thing's going to last forever.
Ooh.
Just like my long podcast with Marcus in the living room, which was almost 3 hours. So
this is your longest, though.
Yes, this was
with your dad.
And
Nice.
your last one in person for a long while.
Because I'm leaving, hopefully, when I say hopefully, because you're doing fine.
I'm doing good.
leaving Saturday, going back home to my wife, whom I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I haven't been back home since early November of 2023.
Yeah.
And it's now mid-March of 2024. It's time for me to get back home. But if anybody needs to come back,
she can come out
it's
here.
either
Yeah.
myself or my wife. But you have your mother-in-law coming in, who will
Yes.
help. And I just anybody going through what you're going through, you need not assistance. You need somebody who's going to help support. And if anything, hey, kind of the,
She can't lift me up from the floor with the tongue.
I don't. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I love you, Josh. I'm proud of you. I think you're gonna. I know you're gonna. This is gonna be awesome. I know. Anything worth fighting for is going to take a fight, and I think you're fighting, and I think it's your life is obviously worth fighting for. So, it's going to be one of those things where it's not going to be pleasant, but it's not going to be terribly bad. I mean, not comparatively speaking, like to week 4. Week 4 sucked. I got it.
Yeesh, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Yeah. So with that,
I love you.
I love you too.
I mean, I absolutely love you, Josh. My firstborn son,
The
bald-headed, no eyebrows son. I love you. I love you.
Mm-hmm. Through the many, many sand pit, spice wormholes we have been down tonight.
Am I you Paul Atreides, and I'm like some sort of other? You're the father.
No,
who gets killed at the end.
No, you're the worm at the. No,
I'm the worm.
Yes, you're the worm.
I'm not another worm.
Yes, you are.
What? I'm the worm.
You're big and endless, and you just go down the wormhole.
But I smell better than the worm.
Good night, folks.
I'm sorry.